lays it all up for us as we lead it off with the Patriots have found their offensive coordinator. I was going to start the show today, and I still will, with if you look at all the quarterbacks drafted this year, look at who their offensive coordinators are, and it just seemed that the Patriots were missing theirs, right? You heard Ben Johnson goes to the Bears. You know, Kevin O'Connell is going to be sticking around with Minnesota. Right now, Cliff Kingsbury's still with Washington, who, by the way, is playing in the NFC Championship game, and somehow a rookie quarterback is going to try to win 4 consecutive road games. We'll see. That should be very interesting. We'll get into championship weekend. But the Patriots have announced that Mike Vrabel will be the new offensive coordinator. And my immediate thought is it's too comfortable. The Crafts spent zero time this offseason trying to be uncomfortable. It looked like they were trying to make this search at least legit. Nope, not legit. This thing was been set from the start. Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, and it sounds like there will be a new defensive coordinator with ties to Mike Vrabel. But I don't know, a defensive lineman? A defensive line coach being named the defensive coordinator? How'd that work out last year? So my immediate thoughts on Josh McDaniels becoming the new offensive coordinator, was there ever a search? They wanted this thing done quickly, and people have criticized me for continuing to talk about Gerard Mayo and last year being swept under the rug. Tell me that this isn't the case still. They wanted this thing done fast, and now here it is. So you have Josh McDaniels running the offense with Drake May and Mike Vrabel running the defense, essentially, for the Patriots. And I'm sure all the fans are going to be like, yeah, this is great. They don't really. We just played the cut from a Mike Reese interview who just happened to hint the fact that imagine those two personalities together. Has anyone considered this? Mike Vrabel, not afraid to back down from anybody, and Josh McDaniels, who is not liked anywhere. Yet that's the perfect combo? That's the perfect combo. I am completely out on this. I didn't want Mike Vrabel here because of the future of the quarterback. What is his impact on the quarterback? I know that Josh McDaniels has worked with Mac Jones. We all know what he's done with other quarterbacks outside of Brady, whether it's been Garoppolo, whether it was Jacoby Brissett, whatever. He has a good track record of it. No doubt about it. But how do you think this thing's going to work? Third time's the charm? Is that it? I'm actually curious how Patriots fans feel about this, because to me, it's too comfortable for the Crafts. It's too comfortable for them. They never did a real search. Vrabel was like, did they really hire Vrabel? It's more like Vrabel was like, all right, I'll come to you. You're going to pay me $14 million a year. Great. Speaking of money, is Josh McDaniels getting paid by the Patriots at all? No one interviewed Josh McDaniels. Why? He's going to get paid a boatload of money from the Raiders. Does anybody remember Josh McDaniels and the Raiders? Or is that just swept under the rug too? They hated him in the locker room. Ask Devontae Adams about that. Go ask him. Josh McDaniels did not work out with the Raiders. Yes, he's been here multiple times now. His third. Again, third time the charm. If he's here to work with Drake May and build it all around Drake May, he has a great resume of doing so. That's not where I start. I look at the personalities of Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels. Is that thing going to work out? Is that what Mike Vrabel truly wanted, or is it comfortable for the Crafts? Yeah, Josh McDaniels knows his stuff when it comes to offense. And Mike Vrabel's had success in the league. But now it's just they come together and it's all going to work out and they're right back in the race. I know Washington did that. But Washington took a little bit of a chance, right? They found that young up-and-comer who has been a head coach who failed. And look at them now. If you want to say the same about Josh McDaniels, I'm sorry. but he's had zero success anywhere else. A lot of people like this move. I'm already getting tweets about it. People are always saying, great, he's back. The Patriots, this coaching search, were never comfortable at being uncomfortable. They never truly looked around the league to talk to the best names and the best schemers out there, the guys that are on the rise. What happened to the next Sean McVay article I saw today that the Patriots are interviewing? Nope. They went with Vrabel, who they know, McDaniels, who they know. Cue up the banners, everybody. It's so comfortable. It's all going to work out. I'm telling you right now, the Vrabel-McDaniels dynamic, it could get really ugly. And in the end, we were told that Mike Vrabel is in charge, right? We were told Mike Vrabel has final say. Do you really think Mike Vrabel's first choice was Josh McDaniels? I am out on that one. We'll lead it off there at 617-779-0985. This is my instant reaction. Personally didn't want Mike Vrabel as the New England Patriots coach because of the quarterback. So if you at least want to say here, hey, he's done a good job with quarterbacks, fine. I'll bend the knee to it. But McDaniels and Vrabel, that dynamic, I don't see it working out. And I think the Crafts still in charge, not Mike Vrabel. We'll lead it off there at 617-779-0985. Let's take a look at the quarterback draft class and their offensive coordinators. Let's match it up now with who the Patriots have named their new offensive coordinator. It's Josh McDaniels. Third time is the charm, huh? We're going to know all that coming up here. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
News just broke. I give you my initial reaction. My initial reaction is I don't think the personalities of Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels are going to work out. And I don't think it was Mike Vrabel's number one choice. So that's my take. Now, could Josh McDaniels, who's been here twice and been very successful and made Mac Jones a Pro Bowler, like if you want to use that, have at it, Hoss. And just quite frankly, Josh McDaniels really wanted Lamar Jackson in the draft, and they passed on him. This is the first time Josh McDaniels actually gets to work with a quarterback with a skill set like Drake May. And I'm sure that's what's intriguing to Josh McDaniels about coming back. He's never been able to work with a guy like this. Never. So I'm sure that's intriguing. I'm sure to Patriots fans, that's intriguing as well. I'm going to stand by it. I don't think this was a Mike Vrabel call. I don't think he's really getting paid by the Patriots at all, which I do think is a big thing. You know? Like, he was with the Raiders, and he failed. He was with the Raiders, and it failed. Devontae Adams' quote was, his offense only works with a good quarterback. So we're just all assuming that Drake May and Josh McDaniels are just going to work out. I'm just giving you my instant reaction to it. Because a lot of people don't like what I got to say about it. So the phone number is 617-779-0985. Just, we all know the personality of Mike Vrabel, right? You've seen the personality of Josh McDaniels. It's just going to work out, right? Like, that's just going to work out. It doesn't matter because Drake May's here. I think it's going to be a problem. Skaz, how you doing, buddy? You're back. I was here the other night when the Celtics won a game, and, you know, it was ho-hum after the game. And then I worked last night with Kendra while Notre Dame was trying to cover. They didn't. But I never wanted Mike Vrabel to be the next head coach of the Patriots because I thought about the quarterback. So now that Josh McDaniels here, I hate the Mike Vrabel move even more. But I guess what do you like and don't like about the move of Josh McDaniels?
Yeah, I don't love it, Joe, and I think the Vrabel thing has a lot to do with it. You were, more anti-Vrabel than I was. I think, he's a massive upgrade over Mayo. I do think it's a step in the right direction, but when you're hiring McDaniels, that does feel like a Kraft move. That does feel like Mike Vrabel is already being, lorded over, whatever you want to say, that he doesn't have the total control we thought he was going to have. I just can't imagine that Mike Vrabel, who was with Cleveland, learning from them, Stefanski, those guys, has been around, that his first choice with the young, Drake May, all the talent in the world, is Josh McDaniels. I just have a tough time believing that was Mike Vrabel's first choice. He certainly wouldn't have been mine. And I get why Patriots fans like Josh McDaniels, because Josh McDaniels is nostalgia. He is a reminder of the good times for Patriots fans. He's a reminder of Tom Brady, the fixer, when everything was good and right with the Patriots. I just have a hard time thinking that Josh McDaniels was the best, that he was the best option available, because he wasn't. Josh McDaniels is a guy that Patriots fans are comfortable with. That's a word you've used often already in the show, Joe, and I think the Crafts were very comfortable with him. This was not a risk. This was a very safe choice. This is not a guy that's a flight risk, and I think that's kind of that's a knock on McDaniels. That's a negative. Patriots fans look at that and say, oh, well, here's a guy that's going to be here for 3 to 5 years with Drake May. And they view that as a good thing. I think you should get the best guy available, a guy that other teams would be interested in. I don't want a guy that no one else in the NFL wants to touch with a 10-foot pole because of his track record as a head coach and, with his relationship with players. So I think the McDaniels move is very safe. It's very comfortable. It reminds me of the Vrabel move. It seems like they are making moves more to, not ruffle feathers, more to keep things kind of status quo and not upset anybody. So do I think McDaniels is an upgrade over AVP? Sure. Even though I thought, Drake May did progress this year and Joe Milton certainly looked really good in his game. I thought AVP was kind of the scapegoat of the whole thing. But if you want to say Vrabel and McDaniels is an upgrade over Mayo and AVP, sure. No one is arguing that point.
Is that where we're at now?
Exactly. That's kind of where I'm going, Joe. That's what you want? You want to just be better than, what was Mayo and AVP? That's not a very high bar.
Yeah, so that's where I was weeks ago when I mentioned this is the succession plan. Like, The 83-year-old man that owns the team thought Gerard Mayo was going to be the successor to the greatest coach of all time. It didn't work out. They hire Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels to take over. Like, that's the story, Skaz. That's the story. And you know what it is? It's a Band-Aid is what it is. It's a Band-Aid. And we haven't seen a game yet. We haven't seen any free agency yet. But we're here to react now about it. That's what we're here for. I already got, doesn't Vrabel get to pick his coordinators? I don't know. Does he? Does he? Was this Vrabel's first choice or was this Kraft's? That's a valid question to ask. Here's another one I got. The Patriots are like a rock band who are reuniting without their lead singer. Vrabel and McDaniels are nothing without Tom Brady. It's so vanilla and so boring. I'm not going there. I do think that McDaniels is truly interested in working with Drake May. Duh. Josh McDaniels has never worked with a quarterback with the skill set of Drake May. All those things are true. He's been out of the game for a couple of years. He was absolutely hated with the Raiders. I don't think Vrabel and McDaniels are going to mesh. That's just my opinion. I don't know anything about anything they'll do on the field. It could probably work. My thoughts is that they don't. They're two huge personalities. Two big jerks, from what I heard. Like, cool guys. But McDaniels, I've really never heard a cool thing about him. Vrabel, I heard he's the guy. Okay. One's running the offense, one's running the defense. I guess everyone's happy about it. Another one here. I'm not in favor of McDaniels returning at all, but to say Vrabel wouldn't have chose him is not correct. Yeah, there were plenty of rumors about it. Where were the rumors coming from? Yeah, Vrabel's putting those rumors out there? By the way, where do you think people are getting all these leaks? Where do you think Kirk Minahan is getting the leaks before anybody else? There's a leak in the building. So stop saying it's Vrabel. It's the Patriots leaking this stuff out. He's got it first every single time because somebody in that building is giving it to him. Congrats, Kirk. Great for you. But there's a leak in the building for the Patriots. So stop saying that it's everything else in newspapers. It's coming from the Krafts. That's where it's coming from. Drives me crazy. Oh, well, it was leaked out in the newspapers back in December. From the Krafts. There's a leak in the building. There's a leak in there. Come on now. There's a leak. And they're spilling it all to him. And then he's telling everybody. And everyone's going back with their sources. And it's always true. There's a leak in the Patriots building. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. Let's go Matt in the car. Hey, Matt.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
How you doing?
Great. Hey, I absolutely love this. And let me just say, the reason why I love it, you're talking about personalities, button heads, and everything else, and they both have strong personalities. Tell me one personality that was stronger than Belichick and Josh McDaniels together. Belichick was probably nobody liked playing for Belichick because he was so tough and everything that he did. So, I mean, I don't see that as being a problem with Vrabel and him. Secondly, you brought up a point about, look what Kingsbury has done with Quinn and the new rookie quarterback and all this stuff. Well, tell me something. When Kingsbury was a head coach, he wasn't very successful either, and that's Josh McDaniels. He's a better coordinator. We realize that.
I agree.
In the same sense, Quinn and Kingsbury and Belichick and Josh McDaniels, I take the resume of Josh McDaniels over Kingsbury any day of the week because at least he's won. Yeah, he had Tom Brady, but understand something. He still had to put that offense together, and I don't believe there's any other candidate out there that's more qualified with a better resume than Josh McDaniels. That's all I'm saying.
I don't agree. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. Mike LaFleur, Right? Remember Matt LaFleur's brother was the guy they were going to bring him in, Skaz? You know, Nick Haley, now that they're out of the playoffs, maybe they'd bring him in. Again, who's the next who wrote the article today about the next Sean McVay that the Patriots are going to be interviewing? You know? Weren't those all the hot names? Weren't those the best candidates? So don't tell me that it's the best candidate available. Oh, and you know what? Now that last caller just made this pop into my brain. So everybody wants to talk about how Washington turned it around in a year, Skaz. They got the quarterback, they got Quinn, the defensive-minded coach, and then they brought in Kingsbury, the failed coach. Do you see a blueprint here now? Skaz, do you see the blueprint? Drake May, right? Mike Vrabel, the defensive-minded coach, bringing in the guy that can't be a head coach elsewhere but is a great offensive coordinator. Are you seeing this, Skaz? It's a copycat league, huh?
I mean, if the Patriots are trying to copy what the Commanders did, maybe start with Jaden Daniels. I don't know. I think Drake May is very good, but he's certainly not Jaden Daniels right now. And the other thing, too, the Josh McDaniels has the best resume and is the best candidate for those people. If that was the case, how many other interviews did he have? How many other interviews did Josh McDaniels have this cycle? He
had no interviews because A, he's getting paid elsewhere, and B, he was a gigantic jerk. And I want to call him something else, but I didn't hear a positive word about Josh McDaniels' experience outside of the Patriots. Name someone that actually said something nice about Josh McDaniels. We're here to react about it now, people. This is the show. So I get it. Like, if you don't like my opinion, that's great. This is why we do what we do. If I give you my opinion, you don't like it, you give me yours, he gives his. This is what we do. This is talk radio. The Patriots brought back Josh McDaniels for the third time. I'm saying third time's the charm as, wow, it's worked the first 2 times. Yeah, it's definitely going to work the third time. Yeah. Oh, these 2 personalities, I'm telling you. Vrabel and McDaniels. Oh, yeah. Who was the coordinator? Was it Buddy Ryan who punched Kevin Gilbride? Was that what it was? I'm talking that kind of hostility, Skaz. Like coordinator coach fighting. That's where I'm going with it. Bill's in Newburyport. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Joe. Joe, they could have done a lot better than Josh McDaniel. I mean, I just think he wasn't his first choice, but I also think there's other factors involved, and part of that being the last coaches that they had for the Patriots, the Gerard Mayo, they were all getting paid by somebody else. And same circumstance with O'Connell, or Josh O'Donnell right now, Josh McDaniel right now. They're all getting paid. I think it's just like erring on the side of cheap. They didn't want to go out and get a good offensive coordinator or another one. I'm not saying McDaniel can't do a good job. He has in the past, but look for somebody new, and I don't think it was all Vrabel's shit.
Dummy up. Jeez. Didn't even make it to 6:30. Well, Skaz, I feel like can we just do the breaking news? Hey, I got this one in the chat. Joe Murray's a big dope. Why? Because I'm reacting to something that happened that you don't like? Is that why I'm a big dope? Okay. Got that one in there. Oh, Kendrick Bourne tweeted. I wonder what that one was. Guess we'll have to look at that one on the other side. Yes, the Patriots do have a leak in the building, and tell me that they don't. Tell me they don't have a leak in the building. For real. And again, I just got a text saying all you do is complain about the Crafts. Well, it's working on you, first off. Second of all, I don't believe that an 83-year-old man should be judging football anymore. Believe it or not, guys, I don't think 83-year-old men should be making decisions at all for us anymore, or guys close to that age. That's my opinion, and I'll leave all that out of it because there's no moral high ground on the show. But yes, Mike Vrabel's here, Josh McDaniels here. Let's get the banners back up, Skaz. Let's get the nice trophies. Let's roll them out. Let's bring back all the former Patriots that have won before. Let's do it. Line it up. Vrabel's here. McDaniels is here. It's so comfortable. It reminds you of the great days. I watched who they were last year. They were run by that same owner. So if they're going to follow the blueprint of Washington, defensive-minded coach with an offensive coordinator with a quarterback. Hell, that's great. Get excited, fans. I don't think it's going to work out. I think it's better than what it was, and that's where you can all live right there. That's like complacency, if you ask me. That's better than what it was. Oh, well, you know who he is. The flip side, the positive is, I really do think Josh McDaniels having Drake May, I have high expectations. And what I mean by that is, he's always wanted to work with a quarterback like this. So I have super high expectations for that. And when it doesn't work out, I'll complain about it. And if it does work out, you guys can blame me like we always do. There was the Major League Baseball, guys, has come out with its Hall of Fame class. Should we breaking news it or just do it in headlines? It doesn't matter. I feel like we should put respect on some of the names, though, you know?
Breaking news, you think? Or just respect?
Just for, like, respect?
I mean, are any of them shocks, Joe?
One of them. One of them's a former Red Sox.
Do you want the McCone breaking news sounder?
Yeah,
All right, one second.
Yeah. Major League Baseball has announced its class of Hall of Fame members this year. One of them is a former Boston Red Sox. One was a lock the day he started. And the other was a nuisance to the Boston Red Sox and might be the last 300-game winner that we see. Trying to think of it, there's another pitcher that will get to 300 or more. I guess 300 or more, and I'll have to look into that stat. But, yeah, 3 players have made the Baseball Hall of Fame.
This isn't really breaking news. Powered by Tim McCone.
Yes, Ichiro, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner.
The real breaking news here, Joe, is that some a-hole out there, some snobby baseball guy that will come forward and say he did this for the sanctity of the game or something, left Ichiro off. 99.7% for Ichiro. So not a unanimous Hall of Famer somehow.
So wait a second. Not only was he a 3,000 hitter in Japan, but did 3,000 but he's not a Baseball Hall of Famer.
According to one man, not unanimous for Ichiro.
Ichiro Suzuki is not unanimous. The guy goes by one name. He's like Madonna. You ever see him throw?
Yeah.
He can actually throw knuckleballs too.
It's one of the best. I mean, you should be a unanimous Hall of Famer. But that's just baseball getting in its own way again.
And Red Sox great Billy Wagner. And I get a Billy Wagner, though? Yes. All right. Let's get to the headlines. We'll give them their proper due. Let's do it here.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, well, the big news is that the Patriots are bringing back Josh McDaniels as their offensive coordinator. Of course, McDaniels previously the head coach of the Raiders. from 3 to 9 o'clock last night, and nothing happened. There was a Bruins game and a Celtics game, which we'll get into coming up in a little bit. Mike Kadlick's going to join us from Sports Illustrated now. He's moved up in the world. We'll get his thoughts on Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels. The band is back together, everybody. It's comfortable, right? Don't you feel it? You're comfortable. It's 8 degrees outside. You got your little footy pajamas on, your Patriots ones. You know, the footsies, you know? Joe, do you have footsies, Street Team Joe? You don't have Patriots footsies, you know? Like, I watch Glory Day stuff. Like the other day, Skaz, was 23 years ago was the snow game. I was there. It's one of the best games of my life. I got the ticket stub graded, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's one of my favorite moments of all time. It makes me feel good when I go back, right? Well, now Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel have made everybody feel really good. They've all forgotten about Gerard Mayo. They swept it under the rug. Oh, didn't they hire a new strength and conditioning coach yesterday? Yeah, I didn't hear anything about Gerard's brother, did you? Okay, just checking on that. At this point, for the people who don't like when I talk about the Crafts, it's hard not to when you bring back Josh McDaniels, who is, we all know, publicly know, is getting paid a boatload because he sucked as the head coach of the Raiders. So once again, the Patriots are bringing in an offensive mind that is getting paid elsewhere. Now, there's disputes on if Van Pelt was actually paid by the Patriots this year or not. So, but I do know that he was somewhere else. I mean, the last offensive coordinator before that was Bill O'Brien, and that didn't work out. And then the guy that got paid elsewhere before, that was the offensive coordinator, was Matt Patricia, because he got fired with the Lions. So again, if you don't like the fact that I keep talking about Robert Kraft, I apologize, but I'm not sorry. They do that to themselves. It's hard not to think of the money when you hire Josh McDaniels. So I'm sure you're comfortable. The offensive coordinator that won multiple Super Bowls here, that worked with many different quarterbacks, including Tom Brady, is now back. And Mike Vrabel, the one that was never part of Bill Belichick's coaching tree, but went on his own, won a playoff game against the Patriots, which actually ended Tom Brady's run in New England, who got fired because he sucked in Tennessee. Now he's the new head coach of the Patriots, and now everyone's comfortable. And this is my whole point, is that they had a chance to start over, blow it up, interview everyone, just like Washington did a year ago. So if you want to use the Washington model, having the quarterback, getting the defensive-minded coach who struggled before and brought back, and then bringing in the offensive-minded coach who struggled as a head coach and brought back, I get the blueprint. It's a copycat league. I just feel that the personalities of Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels, I don't think third time's the charm. It's worked. And what I mean by that is the 2 times it worked. So you just think the third time it's going to as well? I don't. Your thoughts, 617-779-0985. Let's talk to Steve. He's in the car. Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve. Is he there? Skaz, you got him brought up? No? All right. Well, sorry, Steve. You waited for 21 minutes. Josh is wherever you are, Josh.
Hey, Joe, you talk about being the Washington Commanders and being comfortable. We're definitely not the Washington Commanders. We rehired Elliott Wolf because we're comfortable with him.
Yes. We
re-signed all of our loser players from a 4-13 team the years before when the Commanders cut 13 starters from their crappy team, and they cut their GM, their coach, and that's why they're in the playoffs. We are definitely not looking to be not comfortable. We want to be really comfortable.
Yeah, yes, yeah, Josh. Like you probably have your favorite Patriots shirt, right? The one you wore during the.
Right, I do.
You got like the hand pockets, right, and the hand, nice little spot for you. That's what they're doing.
I was so comfortable, I kept Lloyd Malloy's jersey with me the whole time.
Wow, and now they're bringing back Mike Vrabel, who you're comfortable with, right, and Josh McDaniels. So
absolutely.
It's all going to be great. But to your point, Washington actually did a process, right? Got a brand new owner also, right? So they did a process. Yeah. Did the Patriots do a process?
Man, they got rid of their whole team trademark. What are you kidding? Whole process.
No, they didn't do a process, is my point.
No, I know.
They just
but
hired
you
Mike
saying,
Vrabel and Josh McDaniels. Thank you, Josh. You're supposed to go with me there on that one. Yeah, he's got a shirt though, Skaz. You know, did you have like a certain shirt you wore during the heyday? You know, I had a Drew Bledsoe shirt early on.
I was a big Ty Law guy.
Oh yeah, that's
Huge Ty Law
the 24.
guy.
Yeah,
Back in my C team football days, I played some corner, so I was
C team. Wow,
way back in the day.
I used to coach the B team in Hyde Park back in the day.
Big Ty Law guy.
Yeah, it's comfortable now, right? It's just so comfortable. So I don't want to hear the Washington blueprint because at least Washington went through a complete process. The Patriots did not. Let's talk to, another Josh in Attleboro. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Joe. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good. Hey, my biggest problem with the McDaniels hire is that it very clearly they knew who they were going to hire, head coach and offensive coordinator, the day they fired Gerard Mayo. So I don't think the Krafts have been humbled enough to see that their process isn't working, and they refuse to allow themselves to be wowed by any other candidate in the league and allow themselves the opportunity to see who's out there in the next couple of years. Like that's what you do now during an interview process. I just don't understand why they refuse to accept that opportunity.
I agree with you, Josh. And listen, I have a friend of mine, Hooch, who's texting me right now. Krafts. It's not my fault that I'm talking about the Krafts. It's their fault. Like they literally, I worked postgame. The day that the Patriots won the final regular season game to not get the number one pick. And literally 45 minutes after Gerard Mayo's press conference, he was fired. There was a press release. It was all done. We haven't heard a thing from Gerard Mayo since. We haven't heard a thing about Gerard Mayo. Gerard Mayo, it was a mistake, and I'm sorry. We're moving on. We're going to have a fast process. And that's what it's been. Mike Vrabel's here. Everyone's happy. Now Josh McDaniels is here. Everyone's happy. Oh, Josh McDaniels is going to be great with Drake May. It's all great. So what, 9 wins now, Skaz? Is that where we're at? We're at 9 wins. There's going to be no problems here. There'll be no problems with the egos of both Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels. And if I'm wrong with that, check me. But, I don't know. 2 guys in the league that certainly battle people for their position. I just think it could be an issue, and I wanted to bring it. That was my instant reaction, is those 2 personalities are going to work out?
Can I give you one and you've mentioned this during the break, Joe. I don't know if you've mentioned it on air since tonight's show started, but Patriots fans that are so excited about Josh McDaniels, he's back, Mike Vrabel's here, the team is fixed. We're on the up and up. Joe, was the offense or the defense a bigger problem last year?
Yes. I did say this during the break. The defense was the issue.
My fear is that we're kind of whistling past the graveyard here, whatever you want to call it, Joe. I'm worried about the Patriots defense. I know Mike Vrabel, defensive player, very good defensive player. He's going to bring in a defensive line coach probably to just run his defense, and Mike Vrabel will be in charge of it. But I'm still pretty worried about the Patriots defense. I'm not sure Josh McDaniels is the best hire for the Patriots offense to fix everything, but that Patriots defense still needs a lot of work. So I'm not of the belief that everything is fixed, Joe, and we're on the path to 9 or 10 wins next year. I think this football team still has a long ways to go. And
so what's the name now that and I got to give Jake a shout out because he was sending us some stuff. We have a Slack channel is what we do, and we just throw articles in there all day so we can, fact check each other and then use it for the show tonight. But
the rumor is that Lions defensive line coach Terrell Williams will be the new DC under Vrabel.
And he was the assistant head coach with Tennessee?
I believe that is correct.
Has he been a defensive coordinator before?
That I don't believe.
So will he? So the defensive line coach of the Lions is going to be the defensive coordinator of the Patriots. Right? Is that correct? The Lions, I just watched them give up 40 points to Washington. That's going to be the defensive coordinator. Should I have led with that? You're right. Whistling past the graveyard. That's exactly what's happening here. That's exactly what's happening. All right, we'll let this run a little bit because I know people are in there. People want to get in on this. Aiden is in North Attleboro. Hey, Aiden.
Joe, what's going on? You brought up a great point. Like, if this Terrell Williams guy is supposedly the leading candidate and Aaron Glenn is about to sign with the Jets, if he's such a great defensive mind, why wouldn't he stay in Detroit and a proven winner? I don't know why he'd leave.
Wouldn't he just be the defensive coordinator for the Lions?
Yeah, I don't really get it. It doesn't make any sense. I think there's probably a 2% chance that he actually comes to New England. One other thing, I saw Kendrick Bourne was on Twitter today talking about Cooper Kupp potentially getting traded to the Patriots. I don't know if I'd really want him. I think he's kind of washed, and I'd say it's probably 100% likely that Jacoby Myers gets traded back to the Patriots. Thanks.
Ooh. Talk about comfort, huh? Myers had a pretty decent year, but he was hurt a ton. I heard there was some disappointment of him last year, but I'll look up his numbers. That'd be interesting. So the Patriots are now. The Patriots are in on Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, and Jacoby Myers, guys. So Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I'm out on Tyreek Hill.
Cooper Kupp.
I'd be more in on Cooper Kupp.
Oh, and I'm sorry, who's the other? Jacoby Myers.
I think of the three, I'd take Jacoby Myers, who you let go so you could sign Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, but again, you're getting someone that you knew before, who went elsewhere, and now is going to come back. It's just get the jersey, man.
Hey, at least he had some success elsewhere, though, Joe.
I will say that. Okay, last one of the hour. This is Mark in Norwood. McDaniels, a great hire. Let's hear it.
I do think it's a great hire. So I can't be hypocritical and say that I wanted Mayo gone because he had no experience and I didn't want him learning on the job. I want my offensive coordinator learning how to be an offensive coordinator on the job. I want somebody that has a proven track record of success in the position. I like Vrabel. He had limited success, I would say. So, I mean, to me, I don't understand what the consternation is.
It's comfort.
So it doesn't matter if we're comfortable. Do you think Mike Vrabel is the kind of guy that's going to make players comfortable? Because I don't see that at all.
This is talk radio. You say it's this great hire, and I think that there could be an issue.
Okay, so I'm not saying there can't be an issue. Of course there can. There's issues with the roster. I mean, that's the big issue. But I'm saying if we're comfortable, fine. That doesn't matter.
You are comfortable. The Crafts have put a Band-Aid on their problem, making it comfortable.
I don't look at McDaniel as a Band-Aid. He has a proven track record.
Mark, would he get a job this year?
I'm sorry?
Would he have gotten a job this offseason if it wasn't the Patriots?
I think listen, I've been hearing McDaniels and tied to Vrabel for 2 months before they fired me.
Yes,
so
why do you think that happened? Because the Patriots leaked it out.
Because he has a. So is there another?
You mean to tell me that Mike Vrabel's number one option was Josh McDaniels?
Well, yeah, I guess they hired him. So yes, I would have to say that.
So
who else? So who else is out there? Who would you rather have?
I mean,
somebody that hasn't been an OC before?
Well, no. I wanted Ben Johnson, who's never been a head coach and was an OC. That was who I wanted. But there are lots of names tied to Mike Vrabel, by the way.
Okay, well, who you want as the OC then?
Dude, he's connected to, you know who Matt LaFleur is, right? He's a coach of the Green. Of course. His brother Mike literally was with Mike Vrabel before and was linked to him. Nick Cayley, everybody. There was just an article. They've interviewed 4 people, dude. They interviewed 4 other people.
And they picked the guy that they wanted. So you're saying that the Kraft wants him. I don't disagree with that.
Yes.
You might be 100% right.
Yes.
I mean, you might be right.
It's just an opinion. It's just my opinion.
I know. But having said that, the guy's talented at what he does. So what difference does it make?
I'm just saying that it's comfortable, and I think that the 2 personalities could clash.
All right, I'm comfortable. You know, I'm a season ticket holder for 30-something years.
What section are you in? I was too. What section? I gave up mine this year.
I'm in 305. So
cool. I was in 230. I was in 236. Yeah. So you were above me.
So I've been uncomfortable for the last 5 seasons because they've been awful.
Because why?
I'm comfortable now that they have some competence, I believe,
one on the team.
Do you have like a favorite jersey you wear when you go to the games, or paint your face?
I don't do that. I don't do that anymore.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate you. All right, he's comfortable. That's my whole point. Literally the take of the night. They're too comfortable. Anything else to add there, Skaz? I saw you perk up your head a couple of times on that.
No, I just wanted you to ask him because he was so pumped about McDaniels because he's been an offensive coordinator before. I just wanted you to ask him how he felt about the defensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
No, it is a good question, though.
But Joe, for people that want to play the other side and say, Joe, you hate McDaniels because he's familiar, because he's been an OC, but you also hate the defensive coordinator because he's never done it before.
Yes. This is what this is the problem they're in. It's not my fault they put them in this position. It's not like I created this problem. You know? It's not like I was the one who said, all right, well, let's just sweep this under the rug and make a quick hire. I do agree with this, though. If the D-line coach for the Lions is so good, why isn't he going to be the next defensive coordinator there? For real. Because he wants to work with Vrabel because of the comfort? I think I need some Southern comfort. All right, we got another hour, a couple hours to go. This hour of the sports has been brought to you by our good friends, and they are our good friends because they are over at Valvoline Innocent Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com. Save 15% off your next drive-through oil change at Valvoline Innocent Oil Change. Now open in Weymouth, Canton, Bedford, and Natick. I have teased it for 60 minutes, but I am going to match up the quarterback class with their offensive coordinator. We'll do that next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening.
through two defenders. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Foot race at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Stays on his feet. Touchdown! Touchdown, Washington! Unreal run by McLaurin!
Oh, my God. Josh McDaniels hired as the new offensive coordinator. I think I've said Mike Vrabel is the new offensive coordinator 15 times, but you know what? You would never know with these Patriots, you know? They've done it before. I have the latest numbers regarding Josh McDaniels and his history as offensive coordinator and production, offensive production. And I'm going to compare it to the previous guys that were here, Skaz. Your mind's going to blow. It's really going to help our argument. I'll tell you that much. Just a little tease there on that one. So the class or the quarterback class of 2024 is pretty good, huh? Caleb Williams, say what you want about him, but it's the Bears, I think, right now is the problem. We'll see if it's him. Jaden Daniels is in the championship game in the NFC. Drake May had a pretty fine season, I guess, considering how bad the Patriots were. Michael Penix has Zach Robinson as his offensive coordinator. J.J. McCarthy, he has Kevin O'Connell. Bo Nix has Sean Payton. Now Drake May has Josh McDaniels. So we think Ben Johnson is going to turn things around for Caleb Williams. We saw some of the great offensive plays that Ben Johnson did this with Jared Goff. And now he's going to get a mobile quarterback like Caleb Williams, and you would expect it to work out, or you think it would. That's the hottest guy on the market as far as offensive coordinators go. And having the number one pick or the quarterback with the highest upside, you would think that's a good move. Cliff Kingsbury with Jaden Daniels has been an absolute home run. And I'm sure that New England Patriots fans are going to compare it to McDaniels coming back, who failed as a head coach. Maybe. But it worked out. Zach Robinson was in on the Patriots offensive coordinator job. Did pretty well with Michael Penix through a couple of games. We haven't seen J.J. McCarthy yet, but look what happened with Sam Darnold. And Bo Nix at least got to the playoffs, right? So you have Ben Johnson, Cliff Kingsbury, Zach Robinson, Kevin O'Connell, Sean Payton, and now Josh McDaniels. Guys, do you think Josh McDaniels belongs amongst those offensive coordinators? Is he, as far as when it comes to in the league, premier offensive coaches, is Josh McDaniels amongst those six? I'd probably would say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to argue against what Josh McDaniels has done. You can't, really. I mean, he's been good. My problem isn't with what Josh McDaniels did. My problem is that Josh McDaniels had Tom Brady for the majority of that and Bill Belichick and, you know, the Patriots offensive lines of years past. This is not those teams. This is not that organization. The team name is the same, but that's just about it. Drake May is not Tom Brady. This Patriots offensive line is not, you know, David Andrews and Tooney and, you know, other guys that have gone on. We watched in the playoffs, Shaq Mason, guys like that. So is Josh McDaniels' resume as good as anyone else's? Absolutely. But for me, it's no one else in the league was interviewing Josh McDaniels. He didn't have one other interview. Does that mean he was getting paid? Does that mean he was the best guy for the job? No. So it's just, I'm with you, Joe. It was comfortable. It was safe. Do I think Josh McDaniels and Drake May could be good, could be great together? Sure. But I'm also not of the belief that it's the easiest thing for Drake May. This is a move not for Drake May. A move for Drake May is a guy that runs Drake May's offense, a guy that's of that offensive.
Like a Josh McCown, who would have known him from back in the day, who was available?
Someone like that. Josh McDaniels is a Kraft Vrabel hire for their comfort, not for Drake May's. I wanted a head coach and a coordinator that was catered more to the quarterback than to the organization, because I think we've learned in recent years that the quarterback is more important than just about anything else in the entire organization. So that's where the problem stems for me. This was a move not for Drake May's comfort, not to make Drake May, you know, the best of his abilities. This was a move to make the Krafts and Mike Vrabel comfortable.
There you go. And the fans.
And the fans.
And the fans. Yes, Skaz, you nailed it. Yes. We haven't even collabed on this one yet. This was not about Drake May. Again, I am interested in Josh McDaniels with this type of quarterback. I am. He's never had this dual threat type quarterback. But Ben Johnson's there for Caleb Williams. Sean Payton is there for Bo Nix. J.J. McCarthy, Kevin O'Connell's there for it. Zach Robinson's probably there for Michael Penix, too. Cliff Kingsbury, absolutely there for Jaden Daniels. Is Josh McDaniels here for Drake May? No. I am sure that Josh McDaniels, who has been reportedly been living in Foxborough, you heard about that one? He's been living here for a while. It's his third time back. And Street Team Joe, if you could look this up for me, bud. Coordinators who've returned 3 times. I think Gunther Cunningham did it with the Chiefs years ago. I'm just whether it's offense or defense, I'd like to know. 3 times. Has Dick LeBeau been with the Bengals 3 different times defensively? I mean, that was the defense they ran for years. Sorry, was the Steelers? Bengals. Can't remember now. Whatever. But 3 times a coordinator comes back. I actually would like to know that. All right. We'll talk to you guys at 617-779-0985. Paul's in the car. Hey, Paul.
Hello.
Hey, Paul. You're on the air.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Hey. So I'm wondering where the Crafts hired these guys for their, because it's comfortable for them. Do you think that they're going to spend in free agency? Because I don't.
Well,
I think this was a flash for the fans, and I don't think that they're gonna. I think they're gonna leave the fans waiting again.
No, Paul. I think this year they actually have to spend money. Because there's some sort of salary cap rule where you need to spend above some sort of threshold or something like that. So,
well, I think it's going to be underwhelming at best, and also a lifelong Patriots hater. Thanks, guys.
Oh wow, okay then. Lifelong Patriots hater. Is that because they were good? Just was curious. Well, this one's good. Joe is dead wrong. Kyle's in Worcester. Hey, Kyle.
Joe, what's good? I respect you. Last time we talked about 7-Eleven pizzas, how they're delicious at 2 a.m. when you're hammered. But I came to call this time about Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel, brother. What are we talking about here? Who else is going to be the offensive coordinator right now? Tell me. I want to know.
I thought
Nick Haley. That's
Nick Haley. Yeah, I thought they would bring him in. I thought Josh McCown because
why though?
Well,
Josh McCown.
Well, hang on. Josh McCown played in the league and was Drake May's high school football coach, and is now the offense.
Dude, the guy
and now is with the Vikings.
I get it. Okay, I get the guy played because the guy coached high school football. Joe, we want someone that knows what they're doing. That's what we want. Mike Vrabel is that guy.
Well,
I understand. I wanted Ben Turner.
You asked me a question. I gave you the answer. You don't like it.
I know. I hear you. No, it's not about me not liking it.
You asked me who I think were better candidates. I think Josh McCown was a great candidate because he was with the Vikings and Sam Darnold and helped turn that thing around.
Yeah, but that's listen. Okay, there's opinions, and then there's
actually caters to Drake May, where Josh McDaniels caters to the offense and to the crafts and to comfort.
The only reason why this is the subject of discussion is because of the Raiders and because of the Broncos with Josh McDaniels, where he was the head coach. And we could talk about the offensive coordinator in the world with Washington. He's fantastic. And we want someone that knows what they're talking about, that can get this, I'm not going to say the S word, but this ship with a P right. We need to get this ship right and on the right track. Mike Vrabel's going to do that. And the best person that can guide this offense in the right direction is Josh McDaniels.
Hey, Kyle, real
with
quick.
The money, and I think they're going to spend it.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel got fired in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, because of the owner.
Okay. So, Josh McDaniels got fired with the Raiders.
We're not collecting leftover trash, Joe.
Are you sure about that? Because I've done many of takes that the Patriots, the league's trash is the Patriots' treasure.
Listen. I'm the first person that's gonna say it and contradict everything and say it's. I hate the owners and everything and all that narrative. But at the same time, Joe, who else are we going to take? Ben Johnson was locked in with the Bears for what sounded like 2 years.
No,
anybody else?
Kyle, let's talk. Let's just put everything we've said already aside.
Sure.
Do you think that they did an actual hiring process for a head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator?
With what they were dealt, I believe so, because the defensive coordinator from the Lions denied it, and I think Ben Johnson was a lock for the Bears. I mean, look at the Raiders situation now. Who are they going to get for their coach?
They interviewed 4 guys.
We don't want to be like that. I know, but we had to lock it in, brother.
I know, but look at look at Washington right now.
I wanted them to get Vrabel before Gerard Mayo, and we all know that was a mistake. But Mike Vrabel was the right decision that they should have made.
God, why didn't they do that last year?
Because they had Gerard Mayo in the helm,
and
waiting
that was
to
the
go back
succession
in.
plan. Think about that.
And
that
he
was the
admitted to the
succession
mistake.
plan.
Yes, but he admitted to the mistake.
So now you think an 83-year-old man still can make good decisions?
No, and I think the people within the organization know that, like his son, and they told him, look, we should have made this choice correct before, and they made the wrong choice, and he had to bite the bullet on that. So now we got Mike Vrabel, which is the choice we should have made in the first place. Ben Johnson was never going to happen. He's locked into the Bears, and we don't want to be like the Raiders where we're locked into nobody.
Vrabel's the
because
coach.
They're screwed.
Vrabel's the coach, bro. I'm talking about
and offensive coordinator.
I'm talking about offensive coordinator.
Okay, and other than Josh McDaniels, who are we bringing in? And it's not going to be Nick Haley because that's just not that's a step back from last year. We're not taking small steps forward. I get it. Okay, it's an upgrade from last year, and are we going to settle for just a minor upgrade? I understand everything that you're saying, brother, but if you look at it from just take a step back, dude. Right? This is all fresh and new. Take a step back and look at it. I think this is going to be good. I think they're going to come in and be able to make a program that's going to be decent enough to be able to build off of for years to come. And I think that's the plan here. And time will tell.
All right, Kyle.
And I understand you got a job to do, but hey, one quick thing. Did you see that the Fenway Sports Group is looking at buying the Celtics, dude?
Nah, it's not true. Chris Cotillo debunked that one.
Joe,
take a step back, Skaz, and just look at it.
Joe, yeah. Has Josh McDaniels been an offensive coordinator somewhere other than New England?
Yeah, the Rams, remember?
The Rams.
How'd
you know
that
who was
work
the head coach when he was there? That'd be Steve Spagnuolo.
Who's a great defensive coordinator, right?
So, Joe, your 2010 St. Louis Rams, they drafted Sam Bradford first overall?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, young quarterback.
Uh-huh.
With Steve Spagnuolo and Pat Shurmur as their offensive coordinator.
Two great coordinators.
The 2010 St. Louis Rams go 7-9. Joe, they are 26th out of 32 in points for. So they fire Pat Shurmur their offseason, and then in year 2, they bring in Josh McDaniels to be Sam Bradford's offensive coordinator. The Rams the next season, Joe, they finish 32nd. In the league, 32 out of 32 for points for, and they go 2-14. Spagnuolo and McDaniels both fired at the end of that season.
And now Spagnuolo is in a AFC Championship game.
But I'm just giving you things that happen, Joe.
You mean to tell me that when everyone says he's a great offensive coordinator, but they don't look at the Rams with Sam Bradford, the number 1 overall pick?
Number 1 overall pick, defensive-minded
because he's
head
great
coach.
with the number 1 overall picks, right? He'll be great with them.
Great defensive coach that wasn't Bill Belichick on a team that was 7-9, Joe. They bring in Josh McDaniels. They finish 2-14, 32nd in the league in offense. That's just Josh McDaniels' resume outside of New England. That's all I'm doing, Joe. Just trying to give you some information.
You're working in fact.
Yeah, just giving you some information. That's all.
I've been giving a lot of opinions tonight. So we're a little late, Skaz, and I apologize, but when breaking news happens, this is what happens. So Mike Kadlick, he works over at Sports Illustrated. We're going to get his opinion. I'm going to tell you right now, Mike's going to come on and he's going to like it. And I'm going to just argue with him for 25 minutes. That's what's going to happen. So we'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
We're on YouTube, everybody. I just want to let you know. Guys, did you see the long? I sent you a long Slack before I walked in the building today about a bunch of things that were pissing me off. We'll do that later in musings. I also had a standoff today. I had a standoff with somebody. Oh, I can't wait to share that tonight at 8:50. All right, well, here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. We're going to welcome Mike Kadlick in. He's working over at Sports Illustrated. Also does some work with CLNS. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Joe, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Another busy day. I was looking back at the history of me coming on the Joe Show a couple of times over the last year. I feel like it always happens around some breaking news. So excited to break it down for you. Josh McDaniels is back as OC.
All right. Without an opinion, just give me your reaction to it. What do you think?
I think it makes sense, and it made sense all along. I mean, reading the tea leaves, really, since Vrabel was hired, and even before that, it felt like when, it kind of sounded like Gerard Mayo's time here was done. It sounded like Mike Vrabel was going to be the hire and that he had already sort of started putting a staff together. And I think Josh McDaniels makes a lot of sense for that. He's, I guess being in the area doesn't make him the right fit, but, he's been around here. He knows how Vrabel works. They overlapped here. Obviously not as a coach. Vrabel was a player here and from 01 until 08, and McDaniels was here as well. So they've known each other. They know how each other coach. And it feels like it just makes a lot of sense. And he's somebody who, I know we'll probably get into this, but he's not really a flight risk because of anything that happened before. So I feel like that's a positive as well. So now he gets to work with Drake May. Nothing surprising. It doesn't shock me. I feel like this was sort of the answer all along.
All right, Mike, I know you're down there. So do you think that the Patriots actually had a complete coaching search for both their head coach and offensive coordinator?
Not entirely, no. I wouldn't say it was complete by any means. And, I mean, just comparing it to other searches that have happened around the league, I mean, the Jets and the Bears, wrapped theirs up today. It sounds like the Jets are going too soon. But, both those teams interviewed like 12 to 20 candidates somewhere in there. So they weren't as extensive by any means with that. They obviously only interviewed the 4 guys for head coach in Pep Hamilton, Byron Leftwich, Ben Johnson, and then land on Mike Vrabel. So that wasn't a complete search, but I wonder how much information is too much information, right? Where, yes, these things are interviews as much as they are fact-finding missions. And, are you overthinking it when you're the New York Jets bringing in your 20th candidate and talking to, Maryland's head coach, I can't even think of his name off the top of my head, or Matt Campbell from Iowa State? Like, are those really guys you want to bring in as your head coach? And are those really guys you even want to garner information from? So, while the Patriots, everyone, talked about them sort of skirting the Rooney Rule and bringing in Leftwich and Hamilton right off the bat, which I thought was a load of crap. And it's too bad that that's the way the rule works. But, no, it wasn't an extensive search, but they sort of had the ability to go out and get it done early because they had their eyes on Vrabel. Vrabel was the best candidate on the market, in my opinion, and they were able to lock him down early. As far as offensive coordinator, same kind of thing, where they go Thomas Brown, they go Marcus Brady, and they check their Rooney Rule boxes, which, again, it's not the best look, but it's a situation where they had their eyes on Vrabel, they had their eyes on McDaniels, and they're 2 guys who just make a lot of sense to be here. They've done it before. They've had success in both positions. So I didn't need it to be as long as some of the other hiring searches, but this one did feel a little bit short on both ends to me.
Mike Kadlick joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. He works over at Sports Illustrated, does work with CLNS. What could go wrong here, Mike? I'll give you my take. I think the personalities of Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels, the first time was good, second time was good. What makes you think third time around is the charm?
So I do, to an extent, understand the personality aspect of it, right? But I think that's why Josh McDaniels was a bad head coach, but why he's been a good offensive coordinator, because he knows his place as an OC, whereas head coach, he's the man. He sets all the rules. and he's gotten over his heels, not twice, but 3 times, because, he ran it into the ground in Denver the first time, and then he left the flight to go to Indy, and then ended up getting another chance after another successful stint here, and ends up going to the Las Vegas Raiders and kind of burned that bridge for himself as well. So for all intents and purposes, he's radioactive in the NFL anywhere except for the Patriots. But having said that, I think when he works for someone and is not his own boss, that's when he can temper his personality a little bit. Now, the argument to that, which I agree with and we haven't seen, is he was able to hone it in, control the offense, and essentially stay in his place and stay in his lane when he was working for Bill Belichick. He's never worked under Mike Vrabel. So that's where, it may get a little dicey. But again, I think Vrabel is the type of coach and will be the type of boss where he's going to be hard on you. He's going to expect the most out of you. You're not always going to get along with him. And he even told us that the other day in his introductory press conference where, we all want to be on the same page, but that doesn't necessarily mean we always have to agree. We can disagree and sort of come to an understanding and get on the same path. So it's happened before. Josh has been here 2 times. He's been successful both times, and that's why he ended up getting poached away. The 3rd time, I don't see it happening. And, he's been successful with quarterbacks before other than Tom Brady, which I'm sure we'll get to. So the personality, yes, it can be an issue, but I don't expect it to bubble over like some people, frankly, like you do.
So, yes, Josh McDaniels has been good with the Patriots as an offensive coordinator. We know about his head coaching stints with the Broncos and Raiders, so those didn't work out. And I think that it's forgotten about his time with the Rams when he had the number 1 overall pick in Sam Bradford. They went 7-9. What makes you think that this is a move for Drake May and not just a comfort move for the Crafts and the Patriots?
Well, I think because I do think it in part it is a comfort move, but it's a comfort move because they know what he's done. It's not just that they know him, but they know what he's done. And obviously it's hard, frankly, nearly impossible to give him credit for Tom Brady, but he worked with Tom Brady for a long time and was able to put together that offense around him, call it the way he wanted to, they wanted to, and had success with it. But then, you look at some of the roadblocks he's had. You mentioned Sam Bradford in L.A., or in St. Louis at the time, rather. I'll stick with the Patriots, where when Brady was suspended for 4 games in 2014, he comes in and uses Jimmy Garoppolo and wins 2 games. And then Jacoby Brissett comes in and he wins a game and garners and changes the offense around those guys, where, Jimmy, it was, a lot of quick hitters using that quick release, a couple, deep balls down the sideline, things of that nature. And then with Jacoby Brissett, he quickly turned to using his legs, getting the ball out quickly and not overcomplicating it, and they win that first game with him as a 3rd-round rookie. Obviously, it falls off there, but then Brady comes in, and the rest is history. They win the Super Bowl. And then when Brady leaves, they use Cam Newton, and they mold the offense around him, where we all know Cam Newton here in 2020. He wasn't nearly what he was 5 years ago as the league MVP, Super Bowl runner-up with the Carolina Panthers, but he did still have his legs, and he had 12 rushing touchdowns, the 2nd most in a season in his career. And again, I think he got the most out of what you could possibly get out of Cam Newton at that time. Now, they only went 7-9 or whatever it was. They missed the playoffs, and the offense wasn't great. But then the following year was Mac Jones, and we all know what he did with Mac Jones. Mac Jones comes in here as a rookie, 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns. They go 10-7. They make the playoffs. And then Josh leaves and goes to Las Vegas, and the rest is history with Mac Jones. So he hasn't just done this with Tom Brady. He's done it with other quarterbacks, and he's done it with other quarterbacks of different skill sets. So now I look at, he comes in here with Drake May, who, he can throw the ball over the yard. He can run around. He can make plays with his legs. He's smart. He's cerebral. He is what Mike Vrabel wants out of his offense, which is, aggressive but not reckless was the term he said at his press conference. So I think he can come in here. And he's also, here's the other sort of nugget that we learned from Patriots.com last week. He spent some of this offseason with Ohio State learning a little bit of the college offense. So he runs this, what people want to say is an old school Earhart-Perkins offensive system, when really he's sort of molded it around all of his skill sets. And now he's learning new things, from the college ranks, like I mentioned. So I think he come in here. I don't want to say, he's going to have the Ben Johnson offense, or I don't want to give him that much of a ceiling just yet, but he's definitely a floor raiser, just like Mike Vrabel is as a head coach. So, I'm confident that he can get, some good stuff out of Drake May.
Mike, do you have a negative at all about this?
I just don't know what options out there that were realistically, better.
I could give you a lot of options.
Okay.
Well, I think, again, my option would have been Josh McCown. He was his high school coach, obviously played in the league, was with the Vikings this year, and all it would have costed was money. Instead, they're going to get Josh McDaniels, who's getting paid by the Raiders. So I don't like that. I wonder if the personalities will clash. I also wonder if this is Mike Vrabel's first choice, or is this a Kraft choice? And then I still wonder about if this move is to help Drake May. This seems like a Band-Aid to me. You brought up a bunch of quarterbacks that he's helped. The best job I thought Josh McDaniels ever did was Matt Castle in 2008.
That's another one. Thank you. Add it to the list.
But if I may, he was also sacked 47 times that year. So, how does Josh McDaniels help the offensive line?
Well, he doesn't necessarily help the offensive line. They still need to improve the roster. I think that's what gets forgotten about, the Vrabel hire and the McDaniels hire. It's exciting because I feel like, towards the end of the Gerard Mayo era, it just wasn't it, and we were ready for change. And even I have sort of not admitted, but I think I stuck up for Gerard Mayo a little bit too long, where I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt heading into the back half of last season because he hadn't done it before. The roster was so depleted, but obviously the last month did him in. Obviously Mike Vrabel being available didn't help his cause, so the rest is history there. But it's sort of on that note, as far as being, I guess, the right choice here, I understand the McCowns, and I look at Mike LaFleur would have been a great option.
There you go.
He's the Rams OC, but again, according to Peter Schrager from NFL Network today, that was just never going to happen. And so I would have liked to speak to him, maybe give him play calling duties or things like that. But at the end of the day, I don't see this as a Kraft move either, Joe. I don't think this was handed down by them. I think, from what I understand, from what we've heard down there, from what's gone on, it is Mike Vrabel's show, and everyone else is basically listening to him, and he is guiding the structure of this thing. And so I do want, while I understand the point of still being paid by the Raiders and things like that, I think that this is who Mike wanted. Now, I will say, to your point, Vrabel did mention last week across the street in his interview with those guys that it's a long list of offensive coordinators who they want to interview, and they only landed on 4 and ended up hiring McDaniels. So now we know that we can't necessarily take Vrabel for his word on all of that. But I still do think that he was the right choice. This has sort of been something that's been growing behind the scenes as far as Vrabel and McDaniels coming here as a package deal. So I think that he might have had those wheels working even before he actually had the job with the Crafts.
Okay. You're really happy about this one.
I just think it makes sense. I do.
It's just too comfortable to me. They've okay, Mike, let's take everything aside, right?
Sure.
Have the Patriots ever in your lifetime ever been comfortable at being uncomfortable? And you can't say this year because, well, the succession plan for Bill Belichick was Gerard Mayo.
No, that was a comfortable thing for the Crafts, and I agree on that. They made that move because they were comfortable with it, and they did not want to be uncomfortable last offseason, shying away from, hey, this wasn't your contract, but we actually want to open up the search. So I agree with you there, but I think they were uncomfortable getting rid of Mayo after one season. And yeah, Vrabel is a comfortable hire, but he was also the right hire and probably should have been the right hire last year. So
why didn't they do it then?
Because they wanted to be too comfortable. And I agree with you there. That is correct. But
thank you, Mike.
Hey, we can agree on something here, Joe.
That's my whole thing. They are putting a Band-Aid on Mike, wrong story short, I don't want to be the guy who blames the Crafts, but to me, They had zero succession plan after Tom Brady, and their succession plan after Bill Belichick was Gerard Mayo. And now I'm just going to sit here and think that Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels are the answer. I can't do that.
So you're not a Vrabel guy either, then?
I think that the Vrabel hire is even worse now that McDaniels is here. Yes.
Why is it worse?
I just always wanted someone that could groom with Drake May.
That's Josh, baby. That's Josh in a nutshell. But you have.
But you think that this is to appease the crafts. I feel not to make Drake May better.
I said it before too. Like, he's no longer a flight risk because of his radioactiveness in the NFL.
He's no longer a flight risk because nobody wants him in the NFL, and they know he gets.
Nobody wants him as a head coach in the NFL.
No. But again, people forget his stint with the Rams. He had the number 1 overall pick. Like, it didn't work out. He got fired and then came back.
And then did pretty freaking well for himself.
No, he did, but that's so great. When you have Tom Brady, man, it's
But we just talked about everything he did with everybody else. I didn't give him credit for Tom Brady.
Did they make the playoffs with Cam Newton?
No, they missed the playoffs.
How did it work at the end?
But they made it with Mac. They made it with Mac.
How did that work out? What was do you remember the score of that game?
Which
playoffs?
one?
The playoffs.
Yeah, they got it there. Now you're changing. Now you're moving the goalposts, baby. They made the playoffs in his rookie year.
I am moving the goalpost to help my argument. You're absolutely right.
Of course. That's what we do on radio. I get it.
I feel like there's too much comfort here.
While there is comfort, I also, your other point on the long-term success of Drake May, this is why I like the hire. This is probably the number one reason I like the hire, Joe, because if you were to bring in one of these young offensive minds, a Josh McCown, a Mike LaFleur, you pick it, even the guy they interviewed from the Vikings today, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but that's somebody who comes in here, has 2 years of success, and then has to leave because he gets a head coaching job, which it means you had success, which is ultimately a good thing, but then you have to reset once again, and having OC over OC over OC is never the right answer for a team. And so here you have long-term, hopefully, if all goes right, which I'm not saying it's all going to go right. I'm just saying the outlook of this is Josh McDaniels is here for a long time. He works with Drake May. He doesn't leave because nobody's going to hire him. He's a long-term OC alongside Mike Vrabel, who's a culture builder, who's won at pretty much the highest level in the NFL before and can actually build a culture based on winning and not false promises that Gerard Mayo essentially had here.
Okay, Mike, you're in. You're in.
I'm in on Josh. I think it's the right move. I really do.
All right. How's the new gig going?
It's good. We like it. Everything's good. Starting up there full time very soon. Right now I'm on contract. I'm going full time. I'll also be working with CLNS as well once I do go full time. So everything's good on the SI front.
When is that? Because I still want to have that pizza party.
Let's do it.
Well, when is that? I want to know because we can plan it.
When is the pizza party?
When is this celebration going to happen? When can we celebrate? When's a good date? February, March, what?
We'll do February. Want to work for post Super Bowl, something like that?
Maybe we'll do pre-Super Bowl.
I like it. Let's do it. Let's plan on it.
All right, we'll put Mike Kadlick on the schedule over there, guys. All right, Mike.
Thanks, Joe.
Now we got to pick pizza places. This is going to be no lettuce.
We'll do an hour of pizza. No, we're doing a lettuce pizza down there somehow.
Well, you know I don't do lettuce, right?
I know.
No, like you won't. Don't even bring it near me.
You can't even. It can't even be in front of you.
No. I can't.
Me and Scouts will lead it in the other room.
No, I can smell it. It can smell it literally off the elevator.
Lettuce doesn't even have a smell, Joe.
That's a lie. Another lie. Thanks, Mike.
All right, we'll talk to you.
Next time you're around a salad, tell me it doesn't smell.
Well, the dressing smells. The lettuce doesn't.
Just listen to me. I smell it.
Okay. I trust you. Trust me.
Take my word for it.
All right. Sounds good. We'll do an hour pizza party on the Joe Show. Let's make it happen.
He's Mike
All
Kadlick.
right.
Congrats. He's Sports Illustrated. We'll talk to you soon, Mike.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, bye. Man, I was reading the chat during that interview. There's a lot of people that are throwing things at us, Skaz, that I just want to wham! Wham! Someone did mention something that I'll bring up here on the other side. But, geez, let's hypothetically say Josh McDaniels has like 3 great years with Drake May. Let's just call them Pro Bowl years in success, like playoffs. Oh, the crowd's going to pay Josh McDaniels? I can't get that out of my brain. It's just like the money is a big part of this. Everyone's so happy about Josh McDaniels. Do I have to remind you guys about Bill O'Brien? Remember that one, Skaz? I sat here and told you it was suspect. And it was. This one is something doesn't smell right. All right, we got to get to the headlines. I'm Joe Murray.
Sports Hub headlines.
Josh McDaniels in, the new offensive coordinator of the New England Patriots. It's official. Kevin O'Connell's going back to the Vikings, and the MLB Hall of Fame class has been announced. Ichiro, CeCe Sabathia, and Billy Wagner. Headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com to save 15% off your next drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Now open in Rainham, Reading, and Braintree. I'm Joe Murray.
Don't go anywhere. There's more.
Everyone's got an opinion on Josh McDaniels. I got to get it right. I think I've been saying Mike Vrabel all night. And when Mike Vrabel got hired, I kept saying Gerard Mayo. It's like I'm like the Crafts. I'm always just, trying to get over the past, but I can't. They're just so comfortable with the guys that they know. Did you notice something about the quarterbacks this weekend in the NFL? How about the remaining quarterbacks championship weekend? Jalen Hurts is a mobile quarterback, right? Jaden Daniels, mobile quarterback? Is Patrick Mahomes a mobile quarterback? How about Josh Allen? Are we noticing a theme here? The one thing I'll say about Josh McDaniels, he wanted to draft Lamar Jackson. He didn't get him. The only quarterback I truly can think of that has the style of Matt Castle that he's coached is, the style of Drake May is Matt Castle. Sorry. I just did it again. A mistake? Is that? No, the only quarterback, and let me rephrase this. The only quarterback of a skill set of Drake May is Matt Castle. Am I wrong? What do you think? Cam Newton? Is that what you're going to use on me? I mean, Mac Jones didn't have the skill set of a Drake May. Right?
Matt Castle, not a mobile guy.
No, he could run. Oh, yeah, no, Matt Castle was very mobile, dude.
Like, I don't know, was he Drake May mobile, though?
Not many guys are. How about in the league right now? How many quarterbacks are Drake May mobile? Like, Josh McDaniels isn't, Josh Allen is not a runner like May. Like, people compare May to Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a battering ram. Drake May is a mover. Like, give me a comp. Is there an NFL comp right now for Drake May? It's not Josh Allen. Josh Allen's a battering ram.
I think of his arm is much stronger, but like the Alex Smith kind of escapability mobile. He's faster, though. But Matt Castle only ran for more than 100 yards 4 times.
No. What my point was that he had that ability, though. Like, okay, like Jacoby Brissett couldn't move like Drake May. And that, when he was drafted, Garoppolo could not move like Drake May could.
I think Herbert moves pretty well. That's a good comp. I was thinking Dak Prescott a little bit. I think Dak, maybe Dak. That's my whole point. Josh McDaniels has never had a quarterback with this skill set. He had Cam Newton on the back nine. That's why I'm saying Castle. Castle worked in 2008. Castle's ability in 2008 was that he could move. I don't think he's ever had one. And I guess to the point, Drake May is his own entity, right? He's like Donovan McNabb almost.
Jeez. McNabb, the only thing I'll say about McNabb was he was big. And
he was.
And back then, like, dude, they took hits.
He took a beating. Yeah.
But, like, Michael Vick was a different. Listen, Drake May's ability to run should be a part of his game, and the Patriots put the leash on him last year. But did he leave a game twice because of injury? Was there a supposed MRI 1 week, Skaz, that we still haven't heard from yet? Maybe Minahan can let us know about that one, right? Was there really an MRI on his knee? There's a leak in the building, right?
Maybe he'll let us know about Malcolm Butler, too.
Maybe he's got something on that.
I'd like to get the answer on that one.
Please, can someone get it? All right, In or Out's coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
McDaniels back for the third time as the Patriots offensive coordinator. Kevin O'Connell, well, he's going to be back in Minnesota. A Hall of Fame has been announced for Major League Baseball. Ichiro CC Sabathia. And by the way, I said 300 wins. He had 250, which is still pretty good. And who else? Billy Wagner. And it looks like a big trade is brewing in the NBA regarding Jimmy Butler. Lots and lots and lots of picks being moved. And it may involve Jimmy Butler going to Phoenix. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Score to the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is...
It's not something I really grew up on. The only one I ever went to growing up, I used to go to Nantasket Beach. And I think it's either Hingham or Quincy. I can't remember, but I'd follow that whole... Right? So it's like... It's got that, like... What do you call it? Like a hard...
like a shell almost.
Hard shell. Hard sugar shell. Lemonade Sugar High. You ever heard the song Watermelon Sugar High? You know, that could be the... hardcore in on that. Dairy Queen really is good, man. They make a hell of a burger. I go to the one in Harwich. Sound real highbrow talking like that, huh? I like to go to the one in the Harwich down in the Cape. I could go anywhere on the Cape, but give me a DQ burger, please. Thank you.
All right, Joe, sticking with food, as a snack, a very famous snack, Doritos, caused somewhat of an uproar, though, over the weekend when they teased a new shape of the Dorito. Joe, a square Dorito. Joe Murray, are you in or out on square Doritos?
In. Why not? What's the difference?
People very upset that they were going away from the chip design.
Because it looked like a wheat thin? It's cheese. It's a Dorito. It's Cool Ranch. It's the same thing. It's just... Like, okay, do you know what they make now? They make Dorito Minis. You know what the Dorito Minis are? They're the crushed up ones that aren't full chips. Do people have a problem with that? Because really, Doritos is just making out on all the crumbs. They're putting all the crumbs in a Pringles. By the way, it comes in a Pringles can, Skaz, and as you know, and I don't know if Jake and Street Team Joe know about this, but there was a man who pooped in Pringles cans and would throw it. What was that guy's name? It was some sort of...
He was the pooper.
The pooper. Now, I've never pooped in a Pringles can in my life. I actually have never pooped in anything in my life besides a toilet or in my pants.
We appreciate honesty.
Well, is there a third option? I'm just going to keep that. We'll just go. What's the next one? In.
All right, Joe, we'll head to the movies for this next one. Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams are set to co-star in Sam Raimi's Send Help. It is described as a horror thriller in the vein of Castaway. So, Joe Murray, are we in or out on a horror version of Castaway starring Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams?
Like Alone on an Island and What Could Happen, two people together?
It's called Send Help, so I'm guessing it's very similar in vein, but more of a horror movie.
Man, I really like Castaway. You know why I like Castaway? Because the whole second half of the movie has little commentary whatsoever. It's just him and Wilson. His best friend was a ball. It was sad when he lost him. That was a sad scene. Like, imagine your only emotional attachment is a damn volleyball with his blood. I wouldn't have lasted that long, Skaz.
No,
I would have lost a lot of weight.
Out on being stranded, Joe. Out on that.
Yeah, but the tooth thing. Remember, you had to get the tooth taken out, and he found an old ice skate to pop it out. If he was smart though, what's really funny is when he found out that when he came home and they were alive, his girlfriend or a fiance, whatever you want to call her, she moved on with Big from Sex and the City, who happened to be his dentist. It's a big turnaround there. Had the tooth problem. Comes home and finds out his girl's with the dentist, who happened to play Big on Sex and the City. It's a tough follow. What else we got?
All right, Joe, in other movie news today, we got reports that Ryan Gosling is being set to star in the new Sean Levy Star Wars movie. Joe, are we in or out on a Ryan Gosling Star Wars movie?
It's Star Wars, right? I'm in. I really liked Barbie. I thought he was really good in that. Some people didn't like that movie. I thought it was pretty good. Jake, you ever see Barbie? Street Team Joe, Barbie?
I thought it was good too.
I thought it was really good. My favorite scene of the whole thing is when basically all the guys would play guitar and the girls would just watch them. And they would all just sing the song, I want to push you around. Yeah, I will.
I liked Michael Cera. I thought Michael Cera.
Oh, he was great.
He was very good.
And then he was in the back of the car when they tried to leave. Hey, he's always a good actor in a movie. Does he always play that kind of role, though?
Yeah, he's always kind of a hunk.
What was the song that he sung in Superbad again? Jimmy, his cousin Jimmy.
Oh, no, you're talking Michael Cera.
Michael Cera
my cousin
Superbad.
Jimmy, the singer. These eyes.
These eyes I've never seen another that I have with you. And they just blasted on blow. Anyways, what's next?
All right, Joe, everyone's favorite media member, Nick Wright, was back today with a trade idea. His idea this time, Joe, a Matt Stafford for Tua trade. Are you in or out on the idea of Matt Stafford for Tua?
In. I think that's a wonderful idea. Just so you know, Matt Stafford restructured his deal this year, and I believe he made $40 million guaranteed and doesn't really have any guaranteed money next year. Tua, I know he got the guaranteed up front, right? Technically, you'd just be swapping guys' contracts. So, do you think Stafford would want to continue playing in Miami? He's got, 4 kids? In on the trade, though. I think that makes a lot of sense for the Rams. And their offensive line would protect Tua, personally. In on that. So I think they are going to move on from Cooper Kupp. It's not that it's a they've been able to develop, they got Robinson, they got Tutu Atwell, they have other guys that can play the role. And Puka Nacua is now their number one. Higbee's been very good. I think they should capitalize on getting something for Cooper Kupp. I do agree with that.
All right, Joe. Last one for me tonight. Robert Pattinson has been doing press for a new movie coming out called Mickey 17. On his press tour, he said, if they ever make a Steve-O biopic, I'm ready. I want to be the guy. Are you in or out on Robert Pattinson playing Steve-O?
In. And listen, they just made a Tom Green documentary. And I don't know if I told you this, but when I worked on the morning show, remember in Dorchester we had a nice couch set up out front and whatever. Well, there was this heater the morning show was doing at one point where we used to just get in a week, dude, we got Michael Chase, Shane Gillis, and all of a sudden Tom Green was outside. And I went outside and talked to him, and he was really weird to me. Michael Che was cool as hell, though.
In what way was Tom Green very weird to you? I mean, I can imagine him being weird, but
I go, is that Tom Green? And he can hear, obviously, right? When you're out there, you can hear what's going on. And I was hey, Tom, I loved Road Trip. Well, he's a weird guy anyways, isn't he? The Tom Green show was weird. And remember when he said Austin, Massachusetts instead of Boston, Massachusetts?
I remember him being married to Drew Barrymore. Yeah. That's what I remember.
People say weird how? I can't explain it. You know when someone's just weird? He was weird. But you know what? Most talented people are a little different. So I shouldn't say weird. But I'm in on a Steve-O documentary, but I growing up, Skaz, the first reality show we ever had was The Osbournes. And we got the Tom Green show. When it came to television, it was Nickelodeon and MTV. I know they're owned by the same company, but singled out, dude. That was like one of the biggest shows going. Tom Green was on during that era when the old schools and the road trips and all those type of movies were coming out. Tom Green was one of the biggest names. So I don't know why I'm comparing the two of them, but Steve-O was Jackass, and who wasn't watching that? I mean, who doesn't want to watch a guy sniff wasabi? Anyways, anything else?
That is going to do it for a Tuesday night edition of In or Out.
Oh, well, I don't need. People are sharing more information about Tom Green that I don't think we need to know about his private parts. Drew Barrymore, though, that's a big hit.
Yeah, I saw she's doing. I guess we could do In or Out for this. I saw this over the weekend. Some commercials for it during football. They brought back Hollywood Squares. Joe,
I actually watched it last night.
Did you watch it? What did you think of the new Hollywood Squares? Bad.
Decent cast. A lot of B. I mean, I don't want to be like rude when I say B-listers, right? But what happened to the dude Bobby from Saturday Night Live? You see what he looks like?
Bobby Moynihan?
Yeah.
He's always been,
he's like silver fox hair with a beard and all that now.
Joe, we're getting older. They're getting older too.
I get older. They stay the same age. All right. Hey, we're going to talk to Ty Anderson. You know him? What's going on with the Bees? I'm going to ask him some tapes on the pads too. We'll talk to you guys coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
All right, back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub of Joe Murray. Full show tonight. Again, we planned a show before all the breaking news that happened tonight. There's been some Bruins stuff that I wanted to just take a little breather on. And when it comes to Bruins, there's only one guy that I like to go to. And his name is Ty Anderson. And he's joining us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. He's from Sports Hub Underground as well. Ty, how you doing, bro?
Hey, what's going on, man? How's it going?
Well, before we do hockey talk, I want to box you into hockey. I know you're a man of takes. What do you think of Josh McDaniels coming back for a third time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, whatever. Like I know I'm a man of takes, but now it's the third tour of duty. Sure, I don't know. I was kind of hoping that they were going to find one of these like whiz kids that has the play sheet that looks like a chateau menu. You got 95 million things you can do at any given moment. Not to say that McDaniels can't be that guy, but I mean we've been here before, right? It's kind of old hat, and I think that it's nice. You look at what he did with Cam Newton. That was a team that had a quarterback that couldn't throw the ball, and Mac Jones as a rookie, and that gives you inspiration. But let's also, or not inspiration, but hope. Let's also not forget how maddening he was at times. The third and 7 little handoffs and basically giving the possession away. Like that was also part of it with him. So it kind of is what it is. I feel like this is another example of Patriots ownership and Patriots brass going what they're comfortable with, which, it's yet to be proven if that is what works now. You've seen a couple of years now. The Gerard Mayo, they were comfortable hire. That didn't work. I think they're comfortable with some of the guys in their front office still. Remains to be seen if that's going to work. And Vrabel, who, Hall of Famer, there's comfort there. And so another example of that. And let's see what happens. But third tour of duty, how excited can you really get with that hiring?
I like the takes. That's a good one there, Ty. I've been saying it all night. They're not comfortable at being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to find a little bit of that. Is there a hockey comparison? Is there a coach that's come back multiple times, or a goalie, or someone that's been brought back that was, at least that made contributions? Is there any comp to that when it comes to the NHL?
Well, I mean, I would say the Montreal Canadiens love firing coaches and then bringing them back a decade later. They did with Claude. They did with, I think, Michel Therrien. I think they did it with Alain Vigneault. I might be wrong there, but they've done it a bunch. Montreal has. Look at right now. You can look at that in Buffalo. Buffalo brought Lindy Ruff back after he was there for 15 years, whatever it was, and they won absolutely nothing with him. So I think sometimes people they like what they like. I think more so in hockey, it's organizationally and what they believe in. I think the Bruins are an example of that. I think sometimes to a fault. You had Patrice Bergeron here for 20 years, and he was incredible as a two-way player. And I think, bring it to the Bruins here. The Bruins still operate like every player has to be Bergeron before they come up to the NHL, which is not really an effective way in 2025, in my opinion.
All right, Ty, I worked the game yesterday. There was a nice little day there. Charlie Coyle, 2 goals. The Patra line, Marchand, Coyle, Patra. The kids getting a little bit of a look. Is that the direction that the Bruins maybe should look for as they need to make a decision on what path they're going to go with?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, listen, when you had Chara and Bergeron and Krejci, you didn't have room for these kids to develop on the fly because you want to win a Stanley Cup. I think everyone knows that this roster is not going to win a Stanley Cup. They might not even make the playoffs, honestly. And so use that to your advantage, right? And I've said this on the hockey show, I've said this on podcasts and whatnot, but your fans will tolerate you taking a step backwards if they can see you building towards that next step. Bringing in the younger players like Matty Patra, like Georgi Merkulov, like Fabian Lysell, Mason Lohrei, include him as well in the back end. Seeing those guys take that next step, or just finding out what they are, finding out what they can be. I think fans will tolerate not being a cup contender if they see that. If they don't see that and they see you giving minutes to guys that aren't going to be here next year, your Oliver Wahlstroms, Morgan Geekies, Trent Fredericks, whoever, that's when they're going to get annoyed and they're going to turn on you. And so I think ultimately though, Joe, you look at sort of the roster and their current build, the speed is what's working for them. get more guys that can skate and have some creativity like Matty Poitras. I'll even include Vinny Lettieri. I mean, he's a 29-year-old, but he's come up hungry, and he's come up shooting the puck, playing with speed, playing with pace. He has the most 5-on-5 shot attempts, Lettieri does, by any player who isn't David Pastrnak on this team right now since coming up. He also has 10 hits. He's drawn a penalty. You need guys that are going to bring some excitement, some jam, some juice, some energy, just something. And I think your younger players have a tendency to give you more of that than what you currently have on your roster.
All right, talking with Ty Anderson, he of 98.5thesportshub.com, the hockey show on Saturday mornings, and Sports Hub Underground. Got to put respect on the name there, Ty, for you. All the stuff that you do. It was funny. I was talking about this yesterday, but since Joe Sacco's taken over, I mean, he's been pretty good. There's been some interesting moves. The other night, Brad Marchand sat. He did have the empty net goal yesterday. Why did he sit? Was there anything that you saw there that you can understand why? And is there something with Brad Marchand that might impact the team's play this year besides his ability?
Yeah, I think with Marchand, he's been very careless with the puck this year. And I think it's kind of flown under the radar because everyone loves to freak out about David Pastrnak and his carelessness. But Marchand he's not been good with the puck this year. He's been scoring, but decision-making, forcing plays, especially on the power play, he's been doing it too much this year. And I think what frustrates you about that is that, he's one of these guys who he begins training camp by saying, well, a young player can't play with me if they don't take care of the puck. It's like, okay, well, then start with yourself, dude. You take care of it then. And so that's kind of a bad message, I thought, off the jump, kind of demoralizing your younger players right off the bat. But if you say that, you got to go out and do that, right? And so I think Marchand's a great player. I think he's done a lot of good for this team, more good than bad. But I think that's been glaring. And that's a clutch moment. That's a 4-point game against Ottawa. And he just completely loses Josh Norris there, 10 seconds left in the game, like right between the circles. Like, that can't happen. It just can't happen. And so I get it in that respect. At the same time, Marchand is one of your best overtime players, one of the most overtime goals in league history. And so that part hurts, but at the same time, no sacred cows, right? Jim Montgomery sat David Pastrnak in the third period of one of the final games of his tenure. And Sacco is sort of, adhering to standards for everybody. So I respect it from that standpoint. But as far as the issues with Marchand, I don't know if there's really issues. I think that this is a guy who probably at this point in his career is best served as an alternate, not as a captain. It allows him to truly be Marchand, but your own internal growth or lack thereof with some of your guys has forced him to be the captain. And I think there's a lot on his shoulders, a lot on his plate. And at this point in his career, I think he's a tremendous player, tremendous talent, but having him be the guy, being the on-ice leader, I think it weighs on him. I do. I think it takes him away from what makes him such an elite player. That edge, that walk on the line, sometimes crossing it. Like, I think there's more good than bad there with that, honestly. And I think being the team captain has taken him, a little bit out of that in terms of how he has to conduct himself. And I think that's the issue. I don't know if there's an issue beyond that. I don't believe there is. I just think that, he's an abrasive guy. And sometimes as the captain, you got to be more measured than that. And I think sometimes, that can be a problem for him. I think because when he's emotional, he's at his best. But there's a line you got to walk there, I think, as a team captain.
Well, Ty, a lot of things people say in the media can sometimes go viral, so I'll just ask you, if there was a percentage you can put on it, what percentage would you put on the fact that the Bruins would trade Brad Marchand at the deadline?
I want to say close to zero because I don't think that he does. I don't think it happens unless he wants it. And I don't get the feeling that he wants it. This is a player that they have talked contract extension with this year. They haven't come to terms on one yet, but my sense is that he wants to be here. And I don't think that that's going to change. He does have an 8-team, I believe it's 8-team no trade list this year. So dropping down from 15 to 8. It was 15 a year ago. Now it's only 8. But ultimately, I don't think it happens unless he wants to go. I think he's a lot like Bergeron. He's a lot like Sidney Crosby in that respect. Sidney Crosby, you can argue that Crosby should leave Pittsburgh. He should. They're not going to win. There's no window there. But he takes immense pride in being a Penguin. And I think Marchand is sort of the same way here with the Bruins. And they can do it. I don't know if that's something that they're going to do. You can say he's their best trade chip, and yeah, you're absolutely right. But I just think that the way that they operate, they rarely trade captains. They rarely trade anybody they view as part of their leadership, right? And I think at the same time, is Pastrnak ready to be that guy? Is McAvoy ready to be that guy? I don't think so. And I think that may play a factor as well. And so I don't see it happening unless he wants it. And right now I have no reason to think that he wants it.
Two-part question, final question. How do you think the Bruins have looked without Charlie McAvoy? And it's something that they would consider long-term. And B, I think Swayman's really starting to get going a little bit here. Was it because of the contract and him not really having an off season? And do you think he can get hot where the team can turn it around here?
Yeah, I think, working backwards, I think he holds the key to them turning it around. If he's a .925 goaltender from here on out, they have a chance, right? And they can be dangerous, I think, based on what you saw a year ago. Like last spring, let's not get it twisted here. The Bruins should have lost to Toronto. I don't care they're up 3-1. I don't care that it went to a Game 7. They should have lost that series. Toronto had more talent up front, and that firepower. They should have won that series. Why they didn't is because of Jeremy Swayman. Swayman was incredible in that series, and that's why. And so if he's playing like that in the playoffs, and they have a chance, and they can turn it around. So I think his issues were not having a training camp. They did have sort of a in-season training camp for him with him and Bob Essenza working together, working in tandem. And I do think that helped him. But ultimately, he does hold the key to where this team is going to go ceiling-wise between now and whenever the season ends. And then when it comes to McAvoy, they've been okay. But they're still giving up 40 shots a game. They don't on Monday, but that's San Jose. That's the only reason why they didn't. New Jersey could easily put 40 shots on them tomorrow night. And so if that happens, defensively, structurally, it's not that great. What I will say is that I think that McAvoy being out has given more rope to Mason Lohrei, and I think he's taken it and he's run with it. He's looked as good as he's looked all year, in my opinion. McAvoy, here's the question with trading Charlie McAvoy, if you want to go down that road. Are you getting the proper value? Do you trust the Bruins to trade him and get the proper value and then spend that money wisely on his replacement?
No.
Because they haven't been good at that across the board. It's the same thing with trading Pastrnak. If you want to look at these guys that they've picked in the first round, McAvoy and Pastrnak, do you trust this team to trade them and A, get the proper value, identify the right kind of talent to replace those guys, and then spend that money properly? Because there's no reason to think that they can do that. They haven't done that basically ever. At all. They didn't have a plan for Bergeron and Krejci retiring. They didn't have a plan for when they walked away from Torrey Krug. If you remember, they had to go out and trade for Mike Riley. They're not really good at projecting replacements. Look at DeBrusk. They let DeBrusk go. We're still waiting on who that replacement is going to be. They don't have it. So that'd be my thing with trading guys of that caliber. Do they get the replacement and or do they spend the money properly on those replacements? Because right now, there's no reason to think they can. And so that's where I land with that. I wouldn't trade him. He's one of 4 untouchables that I have right now, excluding the younger players. It's Swayman, Pastrnak, McAvoy, and believe it or not, Hampus Lindholm. That's a good price for a 6'4" defenseman who can play in all 3 zones. So those are my 4 untouchables right now for the Bruins, and that's excluding younger players, not Matt Poitras, not Mason Lohrei, but that's where I land with trading a key piece right now. Everyone else, make a call. I'm listening. But those 4 guys, I'm not moving.
Good content back there for you, Jake. The Untouchables, Ty Anderson. He's got 4. They're like your 4 horsemen,
That's right.
Big week, though, for the Bees, right? They play tomorrow. Thursday's Ottawa, and then Saturday?
Saturday's Colorado, 1 o'clock game.
So that's a lot of games in a lot of days.
Yeah, very compact schedule for the Bruins out of the gate this year. Which, you know what? I think you'll take it over the usual of them having like 19 games in 35 days every March and April. So maybe this will help them. Right now, it's not really helping them all that much, though.
You know what I want to ask? I thought Macklin Celebrini was really good, but what stood out to me was, and again, dude, you watch it more than I do. I just was here watching the game, but he like saved a goal himself when San Jose pulled the goalie. He was everywhere. Maybe it's because San Jose stinks. I don't know. I thought he was awesome. What was your takeaway on seeing him?
Oh, he's incredible. I mean, he's already better than Connor Bedard, in my opinion.
Wow.
I firmly believe that. Much more complete player. I think he's as good a skater, if not a little bit better. Yeah, like to your point, he's rangy. You know, like he can cover a lot of ice and make up ice really quickly. I think that San Jose future is looking really bright, and he's at the center of it. You know, I like their other players too. You know, I like Will Smith. Mm-hmm. I like William Eklund as well. Like they got a good thing going there, and you know, props to Mike Greer, who's done a great job of building it back up. And so we'll see what happens. But no, I think he's great. I do think he's I think he's already passed the dart, in my opinion, in terms of being an impact player on a team that honestly should be worse. They should be a lot worse than they are. And you watch them, like they compete. They hang with teams. And it's really interesting to watch. And they have a great young head coach, in my opinion, Ryan Warsofsky, brother of David Warsofsky, former Bruin, former BU guy, Marshfield native. So Warsofsky was a guy that when the Bruins fired Bruce Cassidy, I was like, he's not ready yet, but if you can bring him on your staff, I would. But he's a great young coach as well. So the future is looking really good, in my opinion, up in San Jose.
They had those great jerseys yesterday. Those things were awesome. I at least.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Remember the old, you know, it's funny. My friend actually bought a Worcester Sharks jersey on the internet. Yeah. It took me back seeing those jerseys. I was like, oh man, remember the AHL in New England? I missed that. That was the best.
Man, the Worcester Sharks. Wow. You just brought it back. That jersey yesterday. That's one. I'm sure I told Kevin Majori he should get that one for his.
He probably has 5 of them already.
That's true. I know. I wonder if he's got the Celebrini on the back of it. All right, Ty. Appreciate you, man. Again, he's Ty Anderson, Sports Hub Underground, the hockey show on Saturday mornings, and of course he writes over at 98.5 The Sports Hub. Ty, appreciate your time tonight, my man.
Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me.
You got it. He's Ty Anderson, everybody. Awesome job. Those San Jose jerseys, I got to tell you, those things, oof. I'd wear one of those, guys. That jersey yesterday, dude, that Macklin Celebrini, dude, I was here yesterday, and all I heard was the name Celebrini here. It was like, who is this guy, Bobby Orr? But the one where I went, of course, where there was an empty net, and I don't know who it was. Someone flicked it down, and he stops the goal. Like, he was the one who blocked it. Man, we got musings coming up in a bit. I've been waiting to get this one out all night long. And Street Team Joe came in and said, hey, what's up with this Pringle can pooper? And I told him to Google it because I think it is somewhere like saved. We don't need to tell him about the pooper I had in my yard, though. Or the woman that bought a couch off me and then used my toilet. But, you know, because Jake's sitting here. I don't know if you listen a lot, Jake, but there's been a lot of poop incidents on the night show, and I don't understand. like we had the Pooseum. It was a museum of poop. But for some reason, Joe was very interested in that one, so I told him to Google it. It's definitely in there. And there was also a Portland pooper out in Oregon, and they finally found them. That's embarrassing. Imagine just... Never mind. we got to go to the headlines. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, well, Josh McDaniels is back. here. Jake's here with us doing a bunch of video. You can check it out on our on YouTube. But he came in and goes, hey, isn't it kind of funny that they wanted to remove all the Belichick guys? But then a year later, they're bringing back all the Belichick guys. So, yes, it's comfortable is my take, that it's just completely comfortable. And, there'll be no egos in there at all when it comes to Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels. None at all, because Bill was the biggest ego going, right? I think I heard that already tonight. I think I heard someone say that already. Bill had the biggest ego, so this should work great. Who really has the biggest ego here? The Krafts or Belichick? Let's be honest. They wanted to get rid of all the Belichick people. And now they're back. It's right here. Vrabel played for the team. McDaniels, who helped them win Super Bowls. It's just comfortable. And Bill. But yet Bill's not a part of it. They wanted to get away from it so bad they manipulated a contract. Didn't even do a hiring process. And this is the succession plan? Out on that. David's in the car. Hey, David.
Hey, Joe. How you doing?
Hi.
If you want to destroy the Josh McDaniels angle, it's really simple. 2011 St. Louis Rams. So in the 2000s, there have been 798 offensive football seasons, right? You got 25 years times 32, less the 2 years there weren't 32 teams before 2002. 798 offensive football seasons. The worst one in NFL history is the Josh McDaniels 2011 Rams. And before you say they had a terrible team and what else is he supposed to do with it, the year before, they had 289 points. The year after, 299 points, which is a 50 and 55% increase versus McDaniels' year. And one of those years was offensive coordinator was Brian Schottenheimer, who I've heard be ridiculed on these airwaves for 25 years.
Hey, David.
So
I think you might have missed this earlier. We did this already.
All right. Well, there's
David, how about this? I agree. You're right. You're right, and I agree with you.
I got actually more.
Okay, let's go.
How about the fact that he was hired by the Denver Broncos to work with Jay Cutler?
And Tim Tebow.
He not only traded Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler never even got on a practice field with him.
Yeah, because
and then he was hired in Las Vegas to work with Derek Carr, who he also ditched. Mm-hmm. That's what these guys do. All these Belichick guys, they get rid of quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so if you think that he's coming here to fix Drake May, he's going to ruin the kid. And that's what should worry you. And yes, the other problem is the Krafts think they had something to do with all this success, when the fact is the only variable, no matter how you want to slice it, the only variable, person, circumstance that was here for all the winning and none of the losing is the quarterback, Tom Brady. And he went on and was successful somewhere else.
David.
All these other factors and people and the circumstances and business practices, they existed before Brady and they've existed after. And how does it look?
David, bravo. We did.
Thanks,
Joe. I only say the Rams thing because we did it earlier, but you if you really want to get into it, Sam Bradford was the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, and how did that work out?
It didn't work out.
He ended up in the league, by the way, another, 12 years? So it's not like he was that bad. Somebody else could work with him, but just not Josh. And the other thing that drives me crazy is this whole Castle year. Do you realize that Matt Castle, with Todd Haley, another guy that's been made fun of for about 25 years on these very airwaves, Matt Castle didn't play in a Pro Bowl because Mac Jones played in a Pro Bowl. He wasn't voted. He was like the 8th alternate. He was there because no one else wanted to play in it. Matt Castle was voted to a Pro Bowl, won a division, and hosted a home playoff game with Todd Haley, something Bill Belichick in 11 years without Tom Brady couldn't do once. He never won a division. He had 8 losing seasons, only 2 playoff appearances, and a singular playoff victory. Bill Belichick, you could argue, in the 11 years without Tom Brady, is a historically bad NFL coach.
Who did Castle get traded?
Look it up.
Who did Castle get traded with?
Yeah, Vrabel.
Thank you. Sorry, just wanted to just, facts. Working fact. We got the musings coming up next. This hour of the sports is brought to you by Valvoline and Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com. You can save 15% off your next drive-through oil change at Valvoline and Oil Change now. Open in Weymouth, Canton, Bedford, and Natick. I got a musings, and you don't want to miss it, and it's next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
the next 4 years. He signed an extension. Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame class has been announced. Ichiro, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner. And it looks like a Jimmy Butler trade could be in the works. Phoenix seems to be the destination. Bradley Beal just announced he will waive his no-trade clause. I believe he's one of the only players in the league that has one, or had one. Headlines, they are brought to you by Feldman Geospatial. With offices in Boston and Worcester for all your survey services, you can count on Feldman to get it right from the ground up. FeldmanGeo.com. I'm Joe Murray. Musings next.
Here we go.
Boom. I win.
Kaboom.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Go to this place 5 days a week. 5 days a week. I see the same guy every single time I go to this place. In every exchange is, what's up, buddy? Hey, buddy, how you doing? Buddy, homie, dude. You know, the whole time. Today, I don't know what happened, Skaz. I don't know what happened. It was really cold outside. Maybe that's what happened. So I was like, I really want my iced tea today. Pulled up the app, scanned it, ding, ding, ding. Walk inside, and I go, yeah, can I get the iced tea lemonade I always get? He goes, yeah, no problem. Goes to scan it and goes, oh, yeah, that doesn't work. And I said, what do you mean it doesn't work? He goes, yeah, it doesn't work. I said, dude, scan it. He goes, yeah, but the scan doesn't work. I said, dude, I see you every single day. And he goes, yeah, but it doesn't work. I said, dude, I go, look at me. You know who I am, right? Like you see me every day. You see me in here, right? And he goes, yeah, every day. I go, so what's the problem right now? He goes, the scan doesn't work. I go, why is that my problem? It's not my problem the scan doesn't work. I'm the guy that puts in the tea, and you scan it, and then you give me my tea. Let's just say that it was really hard for me because I didn't understand what was going on. And Skaz, maybe that's something you know about me, but when I can't figure out why this is happening, I freak out. So I get into a tussle with this man over my iced tea lemonade that I had points for with a scanner. So I said, again, you see me every day, right? He goes, yeah, you get a nice tea lemonade. I said, what's the problem right now? This wasn't about being cheap. This wasn't about, I could have just put it on my card. I could have put another 400 points on if I wanted to get the iced tea lemonade. He kept trying to give me some reason of why it doesn't work. It's not my problem. It doesn't work. It's yours. Fix it. That was me yelling. So instead of arguing with the man, I said, dude, I'm going to come back here tomorrow. That's what I said. I'm going to come back here tomorrow. I hope this isn't a problem tomorrow. And I left. I walked out the door without my iced tea. When I got in the car, the man brought the iced tea to my car. And I said, I don't understand why you just didn't do that inside. And he goes, I see you every day. I'll give it to you. I go, I don't know why you're doing this to me. So this really put me in a mood today. I almost felt like the guy was screwing with me. Has this ever happened to you before, Skaz? Have you ever used an app before that gives you a scan code to scan, and then they don't want the scan?
I can't say I'm too familiar with this,
Have you ever
Joe.
been denied a scan? Jake, ever been denied a scan? See?
Jake is saying yes.
What is up with this? You give me the points to use, right? This changed my whole day. I came in here, I was pissed. And did you see? Hey, Skaz, can you do me a favor? Do you know earlier, before I walked in, I sent along
Joe, I have it in front of me. I had a feeling this was coming. I pulled it up in front of me.
So please, yes.
This is from 541 as Joe is walking in today. Just a few takes from the car, Joe writes. I hate McDaniels hire and hate the Vrabel hire now even more. Hiring a D-line coach to be the defensive coordinator worked out great last year. Tyreek Hill would never, ever be a Patriot. Jason Tatum is not getting treatment for MVP because he's no longer in the conversation. Jaylen Brown's minutes on the floor versus off the floor are horrible. The NFL refs do suck. It's just not okay with Felger for someone here to say it.
Wait a second, just real quick on that one. They do suck, but because we're from here, we can't talk about it.
No, how dare we say that the refs that suck, Joe?
Even though the teams that we cover are not in it.
How about the guy in the booth being like, man, these refs suck. Not allowed.
What else is on that note I sent you?
The Duncans I go to every day before the show wouldn't accept my points, and I had it out with them. I lost a glove also, and I am pissed.
Yes, I didn't even add that one yet.
So, Joe, what happened with your glove?
I don't know. I have a great set of big leather gloves. And I know what happened. I had them on my seat, and I have a book bag with me, and the book bag moved the gloves like off the seat, and one of them fell like where my gas and brake pedal are, and I knew it was down there. I knew it was. I didn't get it immediately. So I've gone in and out of the car a couple of times since then. I bet you it's at the place I went to go get the iced tea at. But anyways, the leather glove that I have is gone, and I'm pissed. I forgot about that last part of it. So yes, by the way, I did an event this morning, so I came home and I took a nap. All this happened after my nap.
You woke up a little angry, Joe.
I was not even hangry. But I'm a boy. I'm a 42 year old. I'm a man. I'm 42. No, I like to take a nap during the day. Are you a napper?
I got one today. Not 6 to 10. I don't usually nap. I usually try and get one in when we're here a little later. But yeah, I was feeling it today. A little like 2 to 3, 2:30, 3:30.
Exactly, guys. That's the area for me. Like what I do is I put on Felger and Mess and I go to sleep.
Right to sleep. What an endorsement.
No, they are. Listen, Felger. We just bust each other's balls.
I have a musing, Joe.
Oh, yeah, you went away this weekend, huh?
My musing has nothing to do with going away.
Oh.
My musing has to do with the morning show yesterday. Joe, everyone anxiously awaiting for the afternoon show to take over for Toucher and Hardy in the mornings. 6 a.m., not a time I'm often awake.
There's a lot of snow on the ground, right?
A lot of snow.
Gather. So you had to probably prepare for that, right?
I prepare for that. But, big event. You're going to be on the morning show in Boston. That's a big deal.
The drive time afternoon show is going to do their show on the highest rated program in the area.
Advertised. A lot of, listeners looking forward to it. YouTube viewers looking forward to it. 6 a.m. On the YouTube, I turn it on. One Mike Felger, not in the building, Joe. On remote. I was highly, highly disappointed with that. I thought Mike Felger, who is, anti-vacation, anti-getting engaged if you're in love, he's not a fan of those things. I thought Mike Felger would be in the building for the Toucher and Hardy morning show. That was kind of my musing this weekend. I was very disappointed.
It pissed off a lot of people. I don't know why it didn't bother me because I wasn't surprised. I don't know why.
No, Joe, rules for thee, but not for me, you I don't expect other people to show up, but, if you got it, Monday morning, a little bit of snow, I'll do it from the island.
I would love to pull other people I work with here into this conversation, but I'm going to leave them out of it because this is Felger-centric. So what you're telling me, Skaz, is you were really highly anticipating the afternoon show being on in mornings, and you are upset that the lead host of that show decided not to come in after all of his talk about everyone else's problems.
You nailed it, Joe. I'm a fan, Joe. I wanted the full experience. I wanted the afternoon show in person in the morning. I thought the show was great. Felger's connection was good. I was happy to see that.
I really liked them in the morning. I did.
I did too. I thought it was tremendous. I just wish Mike was in the building. That's not too much to ask. It's just a flight, right? It's just a flight.
You weren't here Friday, so you kind of missed out on the whole engagement. Why wasn't Drake May at the right this day? So you kind of missed that whole thing. I mean, he's not backing down from it. So, like, that's what I like about Felger, you know? He's not backing down from it whatsoever. Like, he stands by what he said.
It's just a flight, Joe. It's just a flight.
So I don't understand. Yesterday, was there a weather delay?
Who could have predicted snow in New England, Joe, in January? No one knew the storm was coming.
Well, I mean, I did drip my
Oh, I got this thing stripping.
I got this thing
stripping. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Just want to make sure we get no burst pipes. You know?
Yeah, I went under my place not too long ago, Joe, and put some stuff onto there, make sure it's insulated.
If I was like, hey, dude, man, I'm not going to make it in today's gas, my pipes froze. You'd be like, oh, man, that sucks, right? But wouldn't it be my fault? It'd be my fault. I've worked with people before where there was snow on the ground and they decided not to come in. And, you know, I guess we don't have that kind of pulse, guys. You or I can't come in. It's like, well, then you're not coming in. I wish we had that kind of pull. That's all I'm saying.
Just saying.
I will say I have before done the over-under morning show on Saturday mornings from the Cape.
Joey from the Cape calling in?
Yeah. I also was at a wedding, and I did it in the rain on a porch outside because I was committed. When I used to do my weekly appearance on the morning show in Boston, here, I would get, if I was in wherever I was, I would always come on. But that really got you, huh?
I just, Joe, when you think you're going to get something and you don't get it, you're a little disappointed.
Anticipation, they call it. Birthdays today. By the way, where do you think my glove is? Do you think the guy is going to, tomorrow when I come in, he's going to hand me an iced tea and my glove?
You're going to get a ransom note, Joe. Like cut out newspapers and magazine lettering.
And listen, that glove ain't fitting anybody, all right? I got a big hand. Birthdays today. Gina Davis, 69. Nice. Charlotte Ross, 57 years old. Emma Bunton, 49 years old. Luke Grimes, 41 years old today. Not a great day.
Joe, I don't know if you said this one. I apologize, but it is the great Jack Nicklaus's birthday today.
The bear.
The bear.
Golden bear.
The bear.
Okay.
85 years old, the bear.
I went to... I can't remember, like, a lot of things in life, but I can remember eating at the Bear's breakfast tab in my Orlando, Florida. I went to his breakfast place, and it was fantastic, by the way. But would you expect anything less from the Golden Bear?
No. Got to be great.
I knew that. Do you know that? I knew that because I talked about it last night. Billy Ocean, 75 years old today. Ooh, he's a get out of my dreams, right? In and out, I think. I don't know if there's any other good birthdays today. Maurice from WWE, the Miz's wife.
Not familiar, Joe. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
Joe, it is Luke Littler's birthday today. I don't know if you've seen Luke on Twitter, but he is the best darts player in the world right now, and he is about 18 years old, 17 years old.
The best dart player in the world is 18 years old?
He's a kid.
How did that happen?
Luke Littler. His dad just took him to the bar a ton when he was a kid, I guess.
But if he's 18, he's only going to get better.
Yeah. He's everywhere. If you ever watch any of these darts stuff, the intros, these guys coming in and stuff, it's like WWE intros. They each have their own song, their entrance.
That's why I like the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, because
it's very similar to that.
They're all like at the hot dog eating contest, but they're not like hot dog eaters. They're all like the greatest marble racer ever is in the contest.
Yes, you should. These darts, like you watch a Luke Littler like entrance video, the whole crowd singing his song. It's literally WWE-esque. But yes, Luke Littler's birthday today.
Hakeem Olajuwon, 62 years old today. I bet you he can still do that up and under post move to this day.
Joe, it is Emma Bunton's birthday today.
Yep, mentioned that, yeah. It's Maurice, though, huh? Man. WrestleMania is right around the corner, my man. Oh, we get another Saturday night's. We're on Friday, right? Full show Friday night?
Full show Friday night.
Ooh, We're going to do some wrestling lines. I like that. All right. Anything else?
Detlef Schrempf.
Ooh. Good player. His kid, though. Wait, his kid played too, right? Why am I mistaking that one? Detlef Schrempf was great. He played for the Pacers, I believe, with Larry Bird as the coach. Went on a little run there. They had Rick Smits as well.
I remember him showing up in like a Parks and Rec episode because he was like an Indiana legend, and the show was based in Indiana. That's about my memory of Detlef Schrempf.
Yeah, they had Dale and Antonio Davis. Mark Jackson was the point guard. Reggie Miller, obviously. It's good teams. They played New York a lot. People in the chat are laughing at Schrempf. All right, well, that's it for the musings. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system on 98.5, the Sports Hub. This is only a test.
Are you ready for a bathroom upgrade? Transform your old tub into a stunning walk-in shower with Luxury Makeover. No money down, and with over 32,000 projects completed, your dream bathroom is just a call away. Visit LuxuryMakeover.com right now.
Celtics fan.
Let me see what else is right. Oh, they have a nice preview of Drake and Josh. Was there a show or something? Why am I missing something like that? Bears offensive coordinator, interim head coach Thomas Brown could potentially be on the staff. Found that interesting. Patriots expected to land Josh McDaniels. So this is what I wanted to do, Skaz, earlier in the day. But I wanted to give you some numbers regarding offensive coordinators. And I wanted to go back in history. What would you say is a good number, Skaz, for the Patriots? Like for an offense to score for the Pats. Like, they didn't score 30 points, so let's take 30 points out. Let's take 25 points out. How about 21? Can we just...
Yeah, I was going to say 20. So 21, I'll take it. 3 touchdowns, Joe.
So I wanted to give you Patriots games with 21 or fewer points scored by the offense. Points per game just by the offense. Okay. This is also we deducted 3 of the highest scoring games because it doesn't fit my argument. But in 2019, Josh McDaniels was offensive coordinator of the Patriots. In 7 of the 16 games, the team scored 21 points or less. They had 369 points and 23.1 points per game. In 2020, this is with Cam Newton, they scored under 21 points in 10 of 16 games. They scored 298 points and averaged 18.6 points per game. So 2019 was with Tom Brady. 2020 was with Cam Newton. 2021 with Mac Jones. They scored 21 points or less in 10 of 17 games. They scored 432 points that year, and the offense averaged 25 points per game. With Mac Jones. That's a very impressive season. I got to admit that. Now, 2022, Matt Patricia takes over. They scored under 21 in 11 of 17 games. They scored 310 points and averaged 18 points per game. It's very similar to the 2020 season with Cam Newton. In 2023, the team went with Bill O'Brien. They scored 21 or less points in 16 of 17 games. They averaged 13 points per game, 12.9, Joe Math. Last year, with Alex Van Pelt, they scored under 21 points in 13 of 17 games. They scored 281 points and averaged 16 points per game. If you really look at that, they've been scoring under 21 points for a really long time here. And 2 of those years were with Josh McDaniels. And who would have thought that Josh McDaniels' best season of all of the last, let's call it 6 years since Tom Brady's left, the best year was with Mac Jones. His rookie year. Does this now give you hope that he can take over with Drake May and continue to put up those numbers? I mentioned he's never worked with a quarterback with the skill set of Drake May. I'm sure he's intrigued by that. What I found interesting was, like, of all those games, in 2021, they scored 50 points against the Jaguars and 45 versus the Jets and the Browns. If you take out those 3 games, they averaged 20.9 points per game that year. So I just look at it and say, does Josh McDaniels really put them in a situation to be this great offensive team again? No. I don't see where this helps Drake May unless you want to make the correlation that he really did it with Mac Jones. And I just took out the 3 games where they scored 45 points per game. Or 45 points in a game, excuse me. I don't know. I'm now starting to see a lot of stuff of this is the perfect choice. This is the long-term thing for Drake May and da-da-da-da-da. I guess I'll ask this question to you guys. Do you think that Josh McDaniels being here is a long-term solution for Drake May? Josh McDaniels being here, is it a long-term solution for Drake May to actually get the most of his success? Your thoughts?
Oh, boy. I think it's much better for Josh McDaniels the longer he's here. I don't know if it's better for Drake May the longer he's here. This is kind of one of my issues with the Josh McDaniels hire is the fact that he's not a flight risk and is viewed so positively by Patriots fans. The fact that no one else in the league wants anything to do with this guy is viewed as a positive for Patriots fans. I would like to hire someone that, people around the league might be interested in their offense, their innovations, and getting the best out of them. I wonder why, the Bears went with a guy like Shane Waldron instead of Josh McDaniels last year. Cliff Kingsbury has gotten, multiple chances outside of, Arizona. So for me, the McDaniels thing, do I think he can work with Drake May? Absolutely. Long term, I'm not sure if it's the best thing for Drake May. There's no way to know right now. But for me, it's the safest move long term for the Patriots. And we don't know if it's the best move for Drake May. And that's kind of my issue with it.
Yeah.
Is that it's a better move for the Patriots and a move that's in the best interest of the Patriots because they don't have to search for an offensive coordinator or pay one for the next couple of years. But we don't know if it's the best offensive coordinator to help, elevate Drake May.
So I'm reading this from the Boston Sports Journal. Hiring McDaniels as offensive coordinator, Vrabel gives May the Patriots' best chance for long-term success. There's a lot written in that headline. Vrabel gives May. Did you hear that one? And he's the one who hired McDaniels? That was all in a and again, I don't know who writes the headlines over there. But how do we know that it was Mike Vrabel who hired McDaniels? How do we know that it was Vrabel giving Drake May the best option? I will say this, for long-term success, it's a better option than Matt Patricia was for Mac Jones. Some guy thinks I'm cherry-picking because I started my argument with 2019. The reason why I brought up 2019 was because Tom Brady was here and it was his last season. I'm not sure. I don't know why. If I didn't include that, would that have helped my argument? Should I just kept it to Mac Jones and everybody else sucks? I don't know what to do for you, man. I'm just giving you facts. I'm not even cherry-picking. I just think that's interesting. By hiring McDaniels, Vrabel gives May. Just a lot there that I don't agree with. Hey, Justin and Lynn's on the line. Let's talk to him. What's up, Justin?
Hey, Joe, I just want your thoughts. I think I would change that Marchand. I don't think the Bruins are going to make the playoffs this year, but I want this team to get younger as well, and they really need to do it quickly. Keep some veterans if you really want to, but I would get younger if I was them right now.
Hey, Justin, what do you think of Josh McDaniel?
So, Josh McDaniels being hired, I don't know how I feel about that because that's from the Belichick tree.
Oh, the old Belichick tree, huh? I don't know if we have enough time for that one tonight, guys. Pulling out the old Belichick tree.
I think we need to look more at, the Urban Meyer tree. That's Mike Vrabel's tree.
Oh, is that the name of it? Yeah.
I don't know. Who would you put Mike Vrabel under? I think it's Meyer, right?
Ryan Day, right? He won.
I'm not giving Ryan Day a tree yet. He's maybe got a bush or something.
No, I'm saying he's part of the. Is he part of the?
Sure, if you want to give it to
Urban
him.
Meyer tree.
The Bill O'Brien tree. Jake is chiming in.
The Bill O'Brien tree is. I'm sorry. Who? Wait, no. Real quick. Go back to the Urban Meyer tree. Does Ryan Day fall into the Urban Meyer tree? Because Vrabel falls under it, right? So I guess I'm asking: is Ryan Day part of the Mike Vrabel? The Urban Meyer tree? And yeah, maybe. I know you guys are looking up where Ryan Day came from, but I'm pretty sure he was part of the Urban Meyer tree.
Yeah, he was an offensive assistant for the University of Florida in 2005 under Urban Meyer. And then he went to Boston College in like 2012 and then was at Temple as a wide receivers coach.
No, that's a great university there, football.
He was a UNH tight ends coach in 2002.
Oh, New Hampshire, huh? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Ryan Day was up there. So wasn't...
Apparently, reading from BuckeyeHuddle.com, Ryan Day is a disciple of the Chip Kelly coaching tree is who they credit him with.
Chip Kelly coaching tree.
He was at UNH, apparently, with Chip Kelly.
Yeah. So they both won national championships last night. By the way, how about that field goal down 16 with 10? And then the spread was 8 points. Did you notice that the game ended with 11 points? Funny how that happens, huh?
That game stunk, I thought. National championships not been great the last couple of years. I guess opening drive, Notre Dame scores, but I never felt like Notre Dame had a shot after that.
Yeah, Riley Leonard opening drive. I don't know, man. You know what's weird? I probably wouldn't change the 12-team playoff, but like let me give Ohio State their due, okay? This is why there's a college football playoff. I hated the fact that they lost to Oregon and then lost to Michigan at home and won the national championship. Only the college football playoff can save that. Just like Notre Dame losing to a MAC school in Northern Illinois. Like, this is why the 12-team playoff is good and different. But if there was no playoffs, guys, forget about a 14 playoff. Do you know the national championship would have been Oregon versus Texas? Would you have had a problem if it just ended like that? They were the two best teams in college football.
Would have preferred one of them winning, I'll be honest with you.
But do you get what I'm saying, though? If it was just the old days, it would have been Oregon versus Texas and a winner. But because of the college football playoff, it gives teams like Arizona State hope. Right? It gives Notre Dame can somehow get to the national championship now. I think some people like it.
I think it's good for the sport.
But in college football,
you want that one loss to be detrimental. You want
yes.
See, I get it because that's the way it was for so long, and every week is your season. But the way with the NIL and everything, and I'm sure we're going to get another game too. I feel like they're going to extend the college season like they're doing to the NFL. I have a feeling that we needed this playoff.
Absolutely. I don't want to discount what Ohio State did. They had to play, they didn't get the bye. They beat Oregon. I get it. It's just odd to me. It was a success, and I'll give a bravo success. Just remember two great teams going at it at the end of the year. It was always it's just different now. It's different. Hey, before we go, I wanted to get something on Jaylen Brown. I know we haven't been able to dig into the Celtics a little bit here, but I just have a take on, I just keep hearing about they're changing philosophies to get people awards, and I disagree with that. So we'll do that on the other side. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
There are people around here who still are very fond of Josh, so I don't think he was lacking any good recommendations within the office that the Crafts wanted.
He works for Boston Sports Journal, right? With Greg Bedard. So Bedard's headline, which now I can't find for some reason. Oh, here it is. By hiring McDaniels as offensive coordinator, Vrabel gives May Patriots' best chance for long-term success. So for all the people, when I told you that it was the Crafts who wanted Josh McDaniels and it wasn't Vrabel who hired him, can you just play it for me one more time?
This is something that the Crafts wanted. This is something that the Crafts wanted.
So for the people who have been calling me all the names in the world, I did not say that. Well, I said it, but I said it because, the Crafts wanted Bill O'Brien. How'd that work?
This is something that the Crafts wanted.
Get it? Not Mike Vrabel, right? Just one more time, guys. Just want to make sure. Vrabel?
This is something that the Crafts wanted.
The Crafts wanted it. So Mike Vrabel took the job, has control of the player personnel, but can't pick who his offensive coordinator is. Why, guys?
This is something that the Crafts wanted.
We should just go home. All the crap. You should see the stuff people have written to me tonight about this. That's why when I said by hiring McDaniels, Vrabel gives May. Is it Vrabel that is giving May? Is this move for Drake May, Skaz, or
this is something that the Crafts wanted?
Thank you.
Is that considered meddling, Joe?
Jeez. My God. This was a Kraft hire, everybody.
This is something that the Crafts wanted.
Nobody in the league was interviewing Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, I'm sure Mike Vrabel hadn't coached in a couple of years. He was dreaming of getting that job again one day, and I'm sure he was just dreaming about Josh McDaniels as his OC the entire time.
Because to go with Giardi's take, well, they saw what the offense looked like the last 5 years. Well, I mean, they probably miss Tom Brady too, right? Like they probably miss him too, right?
Weird how Tom Brady had a bunch of openings with the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
He reached out to Josh one time.
Well,
you think the Raiders are bringing him back? Yeah, no, good point. Good point.
But you know what, guys?
See what I'm saying, though?
Like at least, yeah.
Raiders weren't calling him back. Not my best move there.
No. I like it because, who knows what Brady wants offensively more than Josh McDaniels? Sorry.
And he don't even want him.
Josh McDaniels more than anybody what Brady wants out of offense.
Has anyone other than the Crafts that was I guess this is how I should have phrased it. Has anyone that's ever been with the Patriots, other than the Crafts, had any interest in Josh McDaniels?
Besides the Rams that went 7-9 and fired him? Besides
Scott Pioli ever called for Josh McDaniels?
Not when they were with the Chiefs. And they had guys, Haley and guys like that who they hated. Supposedly hated. Didn't we have a caller earlier? Man, he mentioned the caller David earlier. Remember he had all these stats ready to go that he moved on from Jay Cutler before he ever got there, moved on from Derek Carr, but now he comes into Drake May. Found that fairly interesting. I wanted to just bring something up really quick on the Jaylen Brown thing because this really bothered me today, but I wonder if some people actually look at statistics at sometimes.
No, Joe, they don't. No, they don't really watch the games either. But story for another day.
When it's to me, right? People think we green team, and I hate that, but it's just fact. Besides what's happened to them this year, they're 3 games off their pace from a year ago. Now, I won't take much away from yesterday's win. The only thing I will take away is that they had their complete lineup in, and they won by 40. And yes, Golden State did tap out right? They scored 39 points in the first half and tapped out. Like, that's what the Celtics do, although people don't want to hear that. It's what they do. But I did want to just mention that there are these numbers when it comes to Jason Tatum on the court and off the court. Their offensive rating with him on the court is 115. When he's off, it's 106. Like, this has been a thing for years, guys. I bring it up all the time. Like, the non-Tatum minutes are always a big thing. But do you know what the numbers are when Jaylen Brown is off? When he's on the court, they're a minus 21. When he's off the court, do you know what they are? Plus 40.
That is quite the discrepancy, Joe.
So people want to say that they're trying to get Jason Tatum this MVP award. Have you looked at the latest odds?
Jason Tatum is not winning the MVP.
He's plus 4,500. So I hate that take. I actually would like to hit it out of the ballpark. I hate when people talk about getting individual awards when it's not the case. Look at the numbers. Jaylen Brown on the court is worse for the Celtics when he's on the court than when he's off. That has nothing to do with Jason Tatum. Brown's pissed about it. He talked about it. But I just wanted to let you know those numbers. When he's on the court, they suck. When he's off, they play better.
Yes, Joe, and I think I was listening to what you were listening to today, too. I think it was around 4:45 that this conversation was being discussed on the afternoon show, and they kept alluding to the Jason Tatum MVP narrative, the team trying to bolster Jason Tatum's statistics, whatever the crackpot theory was that Jaylen Brown was now seceding even more to Jason Tatum this year than he was last year, which is patently false. Zero, and nothing to back that up. In fact, the rotations have been more to acclimate them together than anything else this year. But to dive further into this, the Celtics, since the start of the 22-23 season, usage rate, Joe, we're going to get into a little usage rate
the other
here.
night, yeah.
Yeah, so the Celtics, when Jason Tatum has a usage rate of greater than 33%, the Celtics are 49-3. Since the 22-23 season. Is that good? 49-3?
Yes, and they haven't been using him as his usage rate has actually gone down.
Yeah, we're getting there. So that when Tatum has a usage rate greater than 35%, the Celtics are 29-0. They are undefeated when Jason Tatum is being used more often. For example, the other night against the Toronto Raptors, usage rate for the Celtics, Derek White, 27%, Jaylen Brown, 26.5%, Jason Tatum, 21% that night. The Celtics are now 3-5 on the season when Tatum has a usage rate lower than 27%. That against the Raptors, his 21% usage rate was the lowest mark of the season for Tatum, and it ends in a loss to one of the worst teams in basketball, the Raptors. So for the people,
we had Brian Barrett on who went over all this thing the other night, but it's wild. These numbers are wild. When Tatum gets the ball more, they're better.
And I think the greater point here that a lot of people are missing is they think, Jaylen is seceding to Brown. He's deferring, or Jaylen is seceding to Tatum. He's having to come over that. That's not what it is. That's not where the hiccup is. You're missing it. Jaylen Brown is having trouble with Derek White and Drew Holiday and Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard. He has always, his entire career, had to defer to Jason Tatum. Everyone on the Celtics has. And guess what? That's for the better because Jason Tatum is their best player. The ball should be in Jason Tatum's hands. Usage rate is not, how many assists you get or anything like that. Usage rate is more about your literal usage rate on the court. So this is not about Jaylen and Jason, as people always want to make it out to be. This is more about Jaylen having to, mold to the new rotations now that they're giving Pritchard more minutes, giving Derek White more minutes, giving them more green lights. Sam Hauser is more of a green light. So that's where I think the Jaylen thing comes from. It's not a Tatum issue. The Celtics need Jason Tatum to be, their most used player, the guy with the ball in his hands. That's when they're at their best, whether you like it or not.
Just stats, I don't think people look at the stats. Imagine when Jason Tatum's used more, they win. When Jaylen Brown's used more, they lose. I'm sure he's unhappy about that. All right, a lot of thank yous tonight. Street Team Joe, excellent job. Jake, excellent job as well helping us out. And James Scaramuzzino is here. He'll be video boy tomorrow night. We got a double games tomorrow. I'm Joe Murray. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow night at 6 o'clock here on 98.5 The Sports Zone.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Enjoy quick
tip-off every Celtics game all season long with great tasting, less filling Miller Lite, the original light beer. Miller Lite, official partner of the 2024 World Champion Boston Celtics. When it's game time, it's Miller time, Celtics fans.
Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com. Save 15% off your next drive-through oil change. At Valvoline is an oil change now, but in Rainham, Reading, and in Braintree.
Scrub-A-Dub's unlimited car wash plan lets you wash any time for one low monthly price. The all-new Scrub-A-Dub Worcester is now open on Park Ave.
Anytime's a good time to be Scrub-A-Dub.